Button.
Sounds good.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, we all good? Any other questions? Anybody need the bathroom? Anybody needs to get a drink? We're going to be in the car for a couple of hours. So if you want to go. All right. Well, in that case, hello everyone. Welcome back to Candlekeep Mysteries. This is the third episode, although it is the first episode in a way of a new adventure, because that's how Candlekeep works, basically. It's like an anthology series, although of course we are wrapping a little bit of a campaign around it. So this might be the first episode you're seeing. If you do want to watch the first two, I probably would recommend it. You can find them in a playlist on the channel. And for those of you still asking me where Icewind Dale is, this is the Icewind Dale party before they head back. So, previously on Candlekeep Mysteries, we saw the party take to the mining village of Vermeon, which was seemingly undergoing a mysterious haunting where the villagers had disappeared. The miners, after a cave-in, just started vanishing one by one in the dead of night until only a rather rattled cleric remained, who of course was Catra, who the party found and has now joined the party for lack of anything else to do. So that's how we welcomed Loren back to the show. Of course, we're very happy to have her, and of course Alias is back, feeling a bit better, which is awesome. So
I wasn't sick, I was working.
Yeah, whatever. You were sick for Avernus, I think, or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, basically we're at 6 players, which we haven't had in a long time. Craig, do you remember the last time we had 6? Yeah, I was going to say, was it Strahd, which was...
I believe it would have been, yeah.
Must be a couple years at this point. So yeah, it's been a long old time since we've had 6 in the party, so forgive me if things become a little bit chaotic. I'll try my best. But anyway...
Initiate the Illithid Rodeo.
Exactly, yeah, just the panic Illithids button. But anyway, at the end of the previous adventure, which was, of course, the Creeping Darkness, the party was going to rest at Catra's home in the desolated village of Vermeon. Now that it seemingly was somewhat safer, the party wished to recover from their fatigue and injuries. And when we're going to be joining the party is actually a little bit ahead in the future, as they've now left the mining town and are heading back to the town of Merin, the large mining village. Village is a bit of a small phrase. Large mining town situated before you head up into the mountains themselves, where they previously met with Lucas, the proprietor of the board Weasel Tavern. So we're going to start there. We're going to start with the party having made the long and arduous trek back down to Merin, and you're just once again entering the streets. It's not a particularly large town. You can see the main road leading to the board Weasel Tavern, but the town is very much so at your beck and call.
It's certainly nice seeing some civilization again.
Yeah, you were really quiet when we went up there.
I know, something about that place just rubbed me the wrong way.
I have to make that joke every time someone comes by. So, we're here to see Lucas. We're gonna give the amulet back. Let's go, unless anyone else wants to, buy flowers or something.
No, I think that is a fine decision.
Let's do it.
All right. So you guys head back to the board Weasel Tavern. It's very easy to find. It's at a large intersection in the main road of Merin. And yeah, you still see the fish surprise advertised on the board outside. And you get the impression that this is the kind of town where very little changes across decades, never mind the couple of days you've been away. So you find things much as you left them. And seeing as you set off in the morning, and it took, the best part of a day to trek down here, the evening's just beginning to tick in, and there's a few patrons kicking about outside and a couple sitting down eating inside. But as you enter, you do see the elderly form of Lucas, once again just standing behind, keeping bar, doing the traditional RPG cleaning a glass. And he looks up towards you all as you enter. He goes, "Hey, I didn't expect to see you back so quickly, if at all, really."
Hello again, my friend. We have come to bring you back what you have asked for. And I'm gonna present the necklace.
And he very, very tentatively takes it from you, and he goes, "Wow, you really managed to do it. I thought I was asking a lot of you, but well, I owe you everything. This means a lot to me. Thank you. How was it? What did you find up there?
It was awful. It was just terrible. But the one really nice thing was what your wife's grave looks like now. I have to thank my companion, Solaris. She made that thing look amazing. There's flowers everywhere. It's beautiful. I mean, I put down the bouquet of flowers we brought up, but it was amazing. I've never seen something so crazy.
Thank you, Wally. It was nothing more than simple druidic magic.
Listen, I'm from Marin. I'm not sure that there's such a thing as simple druidic magic to me, but I truly appreciate it. And look, I wasn't entirely honest with you when I asked you to go and fetch this. I didn't want you going for the wrong reasons, and I did want this back. And I do thank you kindly. And he kind of tucks the necklace away in a pocket of the button-up plaid shirt he's wearing, and he then reaches around his own neck and removes an identical amulet. And he goes, now I've got Lorna's, I don't really need mine anymore. Truth be told, these were wedding gifts to us. From a stranger. Used to come up to Vermilion and, well, just buy the rare finds and some things from the mine. But he was in town, day of our wedding, and gave us these as a gift. Truth be told, I've never got sick while I was wearing mine, and hey, it's probably why I can bartend at the age of 103. So, I guess I don't need mine, and I'd like for its adventure to continue, so please, take it. And he takes his off and holds it out in a hand towards you.
I would be honored to accept such a gift. There was much evil in your old town, but it is safe now if you would ever like to go visit the grave.
Oh, I don't think I'd get up there these days. It's a nice thought, though, and I appreciate what you did for the place.
Very welcome. The least that we can do to help.
We have also met this lovely individual here.
Oh yeah, do you know her? You were both from Vermilion, I assume.
Catra's not that old, unfortunately.
True.
Lucas looks down towards you, Catra, and goes, no, I don't think I had the pleasure, but that's some very impressive armor you're wearing. It reminds me of the old priest from Vermilion.
Yes, my grandfather was the priest of Vermilion.
Oh.
I learned from him.
Oh, it's been so many years, but, well, I think your grandfather might have married us, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Small world.
How was Vermilion in the time in between? Seems as though these fine folks somewhat rescued you from there, but I suppose you know better than any what happened.
I look kind of sad, and I'm like, it's no longer what it used to be. Fortunately.
Wasn't that even when I left? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. What became of the mine?
Part of it is now collapsed, but I'm not sure it'll be much use to anyone now.
And he kind of cocks an eyebrow at this, and he goes, well, I wouldn't be so sure. I mean, when the accident happened, I know firsthand that the mine wasn't even 10-20% what it was planned to be. I think there's still a lot of valuable stuff down there. Listen, I act carefully with the information you have. There's a lot of opportunists here who'll try to steal it from under your nose, but sounds to me as though you've inherited a very valuable platinum mine.
I guess so.
Maybe a bigwig in Baldur's will be interested.
I never thought of that.
Wally scrolls down some stuff in his notebook.
Big wig.
Quick question for me.
Yes.
Wally wanted the mine, right? So what was like decided with regards to it at the end of last episode?
Nothing yet. The party were pretty harrowed, so
Okay.
mine economics wasn't exactly top of the list of things to do.
Okay. All right. Well, I know of somebody who might have their eyes on that wretched place, eyeing out Wally.
Yeah, we'll cover that when we get back to Baldur's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do with it, but looks like a retirement plan to me.
Yeah, I am getting old. I wouldn't mind relaxing on a beach somewhere.
He kind of chuckles at this and he just goes, I'm not very good at telling how old your kind are. I try to guess and I usually get laughed at, but seems like you got plenty of time left.
Well, Lucas, unless somebody wants a fish surprise, which, don't get me wrong, I kind of do, I think we should start making our way back to Candlekeep, I guess.
As well, I'm not going to hold you up. You're welcome to stay, of course, but please, anytime you're in the area, do pop by. You'll always have a free place to stay here in Marin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucas.
Many thanks.
All right, well, let's get on our way then, shall we?
Is there anything else anybody is wanting to do in the town of Marin, or would you simply like to head back to Candlekeep?
I would like to go back to Candlekeep. However, I want to be writing and scrolling the entire time, just to keep the documents that I've promised.
What are you writing?
I'm writing about our tale of everything that happened, just so that we can get back into Candlekeep.
Sure.
Solaris, if you want some notes, I took some too.
Thank you, Wally. We should work together for these documents, if that's okay.
As long as I can be co-author, I want my name in that place as many times as possible.
Yes, I think that would be fun.
So we'll say that you secure a carriage back to Candlekeep. There's no need for us to play this out. It's fairly straightforward. We'll say that you secure a carriage back to Candlekeep and you make your way up the Lion's Way until you approach the immense white fortress walls of Candlekeep once again. And you get out and you begin to approach the little window by the portcullis, and you do see the familiar face of Brother Robert sitting there, but it looks like he hasn't spotted you yet, if there's anything you want to do.
No, I think we would just go right up to the door.
Yep.
Cool. As you guys approach, Brother Robert looks up and he goes, "Oh, you're back. That's magnificent. I wasn't expecting to see you back so soon, honestly, and it looks like you've gained a friend." He peers around towards Katra and he goes, "What happened? I'm not exactly meant to inquire about external affairs, but you do have me somewhat curious. That book was unusual. I read it after you left."
We finished the tale. And it seems like there definitely was something going on in there. There were some evil creatures we slayed. We're back to tell the tale, so to speak.
Oh, that's fantastic. I actually spoke with Speaker Kane in the days following your departure, and he seemed most intrigued with you. Which, truth be told, I've rarely seen him take such an interest in visitors. You must have done something to impress him, is all I can say. You may find winning over other members of the Avowed not so easy, but it certainly seems as though you have your foot in the door.
So would that get us a multiple entry pass to Candlekeep, perhaps?
And with this, he kind of smiles to himself and he goes, I mean, that is not for me to decide. I would be foolish to promise something that I can't follow up on, but I will say you've certainly made an impression. It may do well. And he kind of seems to glance off to the side for a second. He goes, you know, there are things you could do to ingratiate yourself with other members of Candlekeep, should that be your aim. But of course, if you are simply here to seek entrance once more, we can go about it in the traditional process.
I kind of look over at Solaris and Wally like, your book any good?
Give them the book.
Yes, as promised for Kane, we have documented our entire journey for Reed, as well as anyone else in Candlekeep. And hopefully, with this, I'll be able to speak to Kane once more when he is available.
Solaris and Wally, this would be for you to both decide. Did you mention having found the barrier with the Feywilds in your documentation? Just for my reference.
Sure. I would say probably yes. Solaris is very by the book, writing literally everything down because that's what her job has been up to now. So I think she'd be very thorough.
Okay. So you kind of didn't leave out any
anything.
details
Nope.
whatsoever. Okay. What about you, Wally?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have stopped her from doing any of that. But
Okay.
I mean, I want the mine. So
when you said this, Brother Robert goes, "Oh, you've been documenting already. That's fascinating. Do you mind if I see?"
Be my guest. I'm gonna hand over the book.
He sort of takes your sheaf of papers, as it would be at this point, essentially, and he very quickly reads through it, and he goes, oh, "This is I've heard of Meanlock's prior in some of my studies. This is phenomenal. What a tale." He kind of keeps looking up at you all, almost in disbelief, and he goes, "You've really been through an awful lot. I'm almost remiss to ask what I'm about to of you, but I'm afraid that, look, simply put, Candlekeep is a library of books and research, as you know, and while riveting, this is more of a draft of an account, if you like. It hasn't yet properly been put to paper, as it were. I'm afraid that in its current state, we couldn't accept this as a submission to Candlekeep, simply because it is not a book, if you like. However, there are ways that I think we can come to an arrangement. Speaker Kane is unavailable at the moment. He's actually hosting some very important visitors from Waterdeep, and I'm afraid that even for the likes of this, I cannot bother him. It would be career suicide for me to attempt such a thing, I'm afraid. However, I think that we can certainly win him round by the time he is available. And I could also provide you the service of personally transcribing this into more of an submissible nature. And he kind of is leafing through this like mixed pile of notes of Wally and Solaris of what's been happening. He's like, I think I can transcribe this into something resembling more of a formal account, more akin to the one that you came here initially to research, if you'd give me the permission, and also if you'd aid us with somewhat of a problem.
Problem?
Yes. I'm afraid that there's been a rather strange happenstance over the past week or so. It began even before your arrival here, but in the past few days, it's intensified somewhat, and, well, truth be told, it's to do with another area which may require your assistance. I am not allowed to undertake any external influence, of course, as a member of the Avowed, but that doesn't mean that I can't give you things that may point you in the right direction. Seeing as we've come to a working arrangement regarding your accounts, I see no reason why this cannot get you into Candlekeep, especially as you may be undertaking a voluntary expedition on your own motivation. So please, do follow me. And he disappears from sight until you hear the portcullis begin to grind up slowly.
Oh,
my God, we didn't need a book to get in.
I mean,
It's worth noting he has
did.
kept your notes
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, kinda, I guess.
Solara's gonna turn to the rest of the group. Now, I know all of you are motivated for things, and it seems that they might need our help once more. But this doesn't pertain to the original agreement. Are you still interested in joining me on this?
Well, speaking about the original agreement, Wally, I would like my payment now. I'm absolutely having fun on these on this adventure, so I figure I might as well stick around. However, I definitely would still like that payment. I have things that I must needs do in Baldur's Gate at some point.
I assume while you're having this conversation, you're entering the
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brother Rob is waiting for you at the end of it as you're having this conversation. He is just sort of looking at you, waiting for you to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I let's be honest, I don't have 100 and some odd gold for everybody, right? So I can give you what I got for partial payment, but I don't carry that kind of cash on me at all times.
But I assume you would have it in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we
Yes, I'm not
currently
asking
aren't
for
there.
it literally right now.
Well, that's what you just asked.
No,
He is correct, technically.
I do not recall saying the word literally. Now, do I? Did I? Whatever. Besides the point. Solaris, I would love to continue on this journey. Wally, at some point I would like my payment.
No
Say
problem.
the next time we're in Baldur's Gate.
Absolutely. I could even
Fantastic.
send a raven to get the college to fork the money over to your accounts or whatever. It's up to you.
I mean, personally, I'm all for continuing this little escapade. I just wanted to check with Wally, though. Considering you seem to be on a bit of a time crunch, is this all right by you?
Oh no, see, that's the ticket. This is more important than any research I could be doing right now. If I can get in here on a more frequent basis, that's key.
All right. Goodbye, me then.
And as you approach Robert, he looks up towards you and he goes, "So, actually, it's a bit of a strange one. I have been requested by one of my associates, another member of the Avowed, in fact, to, well, I don't really know the subtle way of putting this, but to find a reliable group to undertake solving a problem for Candlekeep, as I've said. We have to be very careful when it comes to matters of external influence, so I hope you appreciate that this will be seen as, well, there's no really delicate way to explain this, so I'm just going to hand you over to my associate, who awaits you in your previous study room, which you'll still find prepared for you in the House of Rest. So when you're ready," and he sort of gestures over the courtyard, he goes, "Make your way over there, and I believe my associate will be waiting for you. She's very friendly. Her name is Pelk, and I do believe it's also seeing as this is a supply contract essentially. I do believe this is also compensated. So hopefully that aids in any awkwardness around the topic." And he kind of glances towards you, Chiron. Hopefully that helps. Anyway, I
Did
must
you say Pel?
Pelk. Pelk.
Pelk. There's a K. Okay.
That's okay.
Very well, thank
Yes.
you for the direction.
Oh, that's quite all right. Should you need me, of course you know where to find me. I most likely will be by the gate, as that is the only duty I shall ever be assigned until my dying day.
Oh, brother
Ugh.
Rob.
Pretty sad.
Maybe one day I'll get to do something interesting, but until now, back to the gate. And with a smile, he departs and disappears. You actually watch him leave this time, and he disappears around the corner of the portcullis to presumably a hidden door that leads to the admission office.
Poor
You're
kid.
now in the courtyard. You're in the Court of Air, and you can see the House of Rest is along the southern wall. Although, of course, you know, is there anything else you would like to do, or would you like to head straight to the House of Rest?
I think head straight there if someone's waiting for us.
Nobody want to try running through the Emerald Gate? Nothing like that?
Go on, Zarmus.
Go, go,
Pretty
go.
sure there are guards there with weapon. Well, no.
Well, I was just going to ask: are there other facilities that we can partake?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you don't know what many of them are because you haven't asked, but there are certainly other buildings around this courtyard. And I will say the map that you have provided to you currently is accurate. So you do see activities relating to some of the buildings. Like you can certainly see that there is food and seemingly almost like fairly sensible staple food, mostly bread and very basic baked products coming out of a large steaming building, which you assume would be the granary next to the House of Rest. And there also appears to be some scholars in different colored robes and mixing with all manner of folk outside a building beyond the House of Rest, which looks to be a tavern of sorts within the Court of Air. The rest aren't so clear as to what they are at a glance.
I got nothing else to do. Wanna go find Pelk?
Let's do that.
So you make your way in the rather homely building that's called the House of Rest, this almost Tudor cottage-esque establishment. And once again, you just walk down the corridor and back into the room that you had been magically summoned to be a study place for you. Inside, it is just as grandiose and beautiful as ever. You do note that of all the things that you touched and moved remain exactly as they were the last time that you were in here, except for the fact that in one of the armchairs there is a large dragonkin sitting in one of them, and she is quite a striking looking person. She's a copper dragonborn and generally speaking quite an impressive sight. She's in very rich, luxurious robes of purple with gold gilding on them, and she looks up towards you as you enter and she goes, "Oh, you must be the ones that Brother Robert has found for me. I am Pelk, and I think we may be of assistance to one another."
Good
Nice
day.
to meet you,
Hello.
Pelk.
Hello. Now, I'm sure Brother Robert has explained some of the delicate nature of Candlekeep, and so I'm going to speak in terms that I hope are clear. Candlekeep is supplied from throughout the realms by many, many people and many different kin. And, well, I hate to say this, but we have a real problem with our fresh seafood currently. I would like to
Seafood?
contract you all to arrange or perhaps repair a suitable seafood supply for us, as many of the hosting functions and many of the scholars themselves are somewhat missing access to their favorite giant crab. As you can imagine, this is a seriously grave matter, and I hope you can assist me in it.
Is it coming to life or causing severe illness or something? Or
Oh, no, nothing of the sort. You see, Candlekeep has long relied on a community of Gripply. Are any of you familiar with the Gripply? I imagine not. They're not an often encountered people. But we rely on a community of Gripply to the north for our fresh seafood. These frog folk, if you like, capture and raise giant crabs as their version of livestock. And generally speaking, they really sort of shape their lives around it. Now, Candlekeep has long been a steady customer of the Gripply, but over the last several weeks, they've become less and less active in their shipments to us, and the supply of fresh seafood has now all been cut off, really. And to make things worse, there have been some concerning rumors regarding serpent creatures being seen near Cloakwood, which is where the Gripply live in their village.
sounds to me like these little snake friends may be the cause of the deliveries.
That might be so, but naturally, without having any interest in meddling in external politics or conflicts, simply we have to see the seafood restored. Whatever means you have to go about this are fine
Understood.
and
That's-
not of particular interest to me.
What was the place you said? Sorry.
Cloakwood is the name of
Cloakwood.
the area. It is the Cloakwood.
All right.
And they, well, there's two places the Gripply live there. They have a village, and about 5 miles to the south of the village is a trading post, which is typically where we would interact with them, or more accurately, where many of the sailors who ferry goods to Candlekeep would interact with them. So I imagine your first port of call will be their trading post, and then potentially going to their village should certain things need to be resolved.
You said that it was of great importance to you. Why is that?
Oh, I am very interested in the Gripply, and I've found them to be fascinating people. And I do love fresh seafood.
Do I
So-
believe her?
Make me an insight
All right.
check. Not going to be that hard to pass this one.
Does she love lobster?
Mm.
14.
A 14. It's very obvious from how Pelk is speaking to you that, with a 14, you kind of see a little bit more into it. She very naturally cares about the apparent plight of the Gripply, and this is very much so a legal means of recourse for her to help with that. You get the impression that she doesn't particularly care about seafood,
Okay.
All right.
but she seems honest in her intentions too.
Gotcha.
What
She's
can,
yes. Oh,
what can
yes.
you tell us about the Gripply? Are they secretive? Are they
They're
hostile?
no, they're not secretive or hostile. They live a life that would be seen as entirely alien to us, essentially. No, they're certainly not hostile. I wouldn't say that they're the most inclusive of outsiders when it comes to their ways, but we've never had any sort of violence or anything like that with them. They've generally seemed to be a curious, if not somewhat alienating society.
Okay. Oh, I mean, sounds simple enough. Just restore the seafood chain and, all will be right again.
Yes, but there may be more to it than simply a trade dispute, if you like. I do know one of the captains who's been ferrying the seafood, and his name is Maitor Jans. I recommend you speak to him if you do wish to visit the Gripply. And it must be said, he has mentioned that their leader is in exile from the village, and most of them have fled to the trading post. Presumably because of the aforementioned serpents, perhaps? Now you see...
What time of day is it?
Oh, it's midday at this point.
Okay.
Because it must be said I am somewhat of a scholar on the Gripply, and well, many sort of amphibious folk actually, but that's besides the point. However, I do have a book of sorts that you may find interesting. I'm just going to leave it here, and well, you can examine it in your own time. And you're also going to need this. And she leans down beside the armchair and picks up what looks like almost like a dark purple velveteen sack. This is quite a big sack. And you notice the bottom of it is wet? And she sticks it down on the coffee table next to her. And it makes a distinctly wet thud as it hits.
I have to ask, what's in the bag?
Oh, something for the book. I believe you might need it. You can figure it out yourselves. I shouldn't really direct your research much more, else it'd be seen as meddling.
I think we'll be able to take it
Naturally,
from here.
I've never read this book, nor do I know its contents, but you may find it illuminating. It's one of the few texts we have that is categorized as relating to the Gripply.
Hasn't read the book. I disagree.
Very well.
All right.
Solaris wants to go up and see if she can, or look in the bag.
As you go to inspect the book in the bag, Pelk stands up all of a sudden. She goes, well, I really must be off. You can, of course, always request me from another member of the Avowed, and I shall do my best to make an appearance. But remember, Maitor Jans is the gentleman you want to find. I believe that Brother Robert would be able to show you down to the sea caves where you'll find him. I know that he's been stationed ready to investigate the seafood supply issue.
Quick question before you go. Would you be able to get us back in the next time we return?
Well, this is the rather helpful thing. I don't know. Brother Robert hasn't told me anything of your specific group, but you will be able to be allowed back in under the contractor's law, because essentially you will be working for us as fresh seafood delivery contractors, which does come with payment as well. You'll each be paid handsomely, 500 gold apiece, should you manage to... you can see that she's kind of darting her eyes about, sort of desperately thinking of another euphemistic way to say help the gripplage. Goes, sort the giant crab supply out. So... yes, you'll be allowed back in much as you leave through the sea caves. Not many people get to see those, actually, who don't directly deal with Candlekeep, so that'll be fun. But yes, please do find me when you return. I do hope you return swiftly. And yes, any other questions, or shall I take my leave of you?
That should be all.
Think we're good?
Seems fine to us.
Wonderful. Well, I see no reason why I shouldn't give you at least half payment in advance to show you that this is in good faith. So here you are, and she dashes out a large sack of coin that clinks as it hits the table. She goes, "You'll find it's either 6 of you." Perfect. Yes, that's actually the maximum I was allowed. But yes, you'll find all of it in there. So 1,500 gold should be in there, and there'll be another 1,500 waiting for you on your return.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna go look in the bag now.
Lars is already reaching out into the bag.
She stands up and begins walking out there and goes, "Right, well, good luck, have fun, and yes, I do hope to be having some of that delicious giant crab soon. Bye." And it disappears out the door, which closes with a slam.
Well, that's something I never thought I'd put on my resume.
Yeah,
It's a strange one.
So, Solaris, as you're looking at the book, you pick it up and you realize instantly that this book is very light. It's sort of, when you pick up something you think is going to be heavy and you kind of accidentally go, whoa,
Yeah.
and like lift it up a little bit too much. You do that when you pick this large green-bound tome up. And briefly examining it shows that actually this is a cunningly contrived container. Its covering is made of this green leather, and it has thick straps of hide across the opening. And when you open it up, you notice that actually there's just 3 almost beautifully carved hollow wooden cylinders sat inside the book.
Full or empty?
Sorry.
Are they
hollow.
full or empty? Oh,
They're hollow. So
Okay,
they're like carved wood that's hollow. There's nothing in them, if you like.
Okay.
What's in the bag that needs to go at the book then?
So when you look inside the strange sack, it's kind of dark inside. You can't quite see what it is, but it just looks like a large sodden mass of... And you look a little bit more and you realize it's clay. She's just given you a bag of wet clay.
You want to know what this is supposed to be?
It's clay?
Yeah. Why, though? What goes with the book? Do we
And
put
why
the
is it
clay in
wet?
I don't know.
Maybe we put the wooden cylinders into the clay.
We could try. She said we'd figure it out. It can't be that hard, right?
So-
I just don't understand this whole. We can't meddle in external affairs. They're meddling already by having us do this. A little bit more explanation of what exactly we have to do would be fantastic, but no.
No, we're playing
No
D&D and can't D&D.
No offense, Wally, but the purely scholarly types tend to do these weird things. They bother me.
So, Zarmus, while you're thinking about do we put the cylinders in the clay, you get a little bit of a better look at them. And the outside of each cylinder is covered with writing and kind of almost like hieroglyphics, like simple images carved into it. Each one's divided into 3 sections. And that's all it really seems to be to the cylinders. You don't see anything inside or anything on the handles. It's just these images on each one.
Do we recognize the language of the hieroglyphics?
Ooh, Katra, you certainly do. And I would like to know who else speaks Dwarvish.
I do.
I do
Okay.
not.
Anybody else?
Nope.
So Katra and Chiron, you recognize that the words, if you like, or the letters more accurately when you're looking at them on the wooden carvings, they are in the Dwarvish script. Some of them are almost like condensed down words entirely, and some of them are just single letters. There's so many of them, and it's so small, it's hard to make sense of just looking at the cylinders themselves. But as you turn one of them over in your hands, Katra, you do make out some words, and you do see the name Gripply mentioned. And this seems to, the first one that you've taken out of the book, it seems to almost say something about fishing or something. It's hard to make out kind of reading it round like this, but
Yeah. I tell the party basically all I can grasp from the cylinder. I'm like, it's not very helpful, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Is this by chance a fishing rod? Do we have to join the three pieces together?
Can I do that?
yeah, I mean, you can put like the handles on one of the cylinders in the end of the other, and you end up with something that's about 2 feet long.
Oh, can I, once I attach them together, then does it make actual sentences?
No.
No. Lame.
Do
But it does make like words and sentences if you hold one and turn it round.
Oh, okay, so they're
Well,
like
the words
this way.
go this way, not
Yeah.
that way.
Almost think of it, this might be a bit of a hint. Think of it like a large stamp.
I mean, yeah, I like out of
Ah.
character. I figured out how to do it, but I'm like commoner level intelligence, so
Mm.
Well, I say we go with Zarmus' idea and put the clay either in or on the cylinders.
Very well.
Well,
So
I was imagining just going like, like sticking
Stuff it in there.
You put it in and you roll it.
Yeah, I was gonna grab clay and put it in the thingy, in the cylinder.
They're hollow. Carvings are on the outside.
So I don't know. I'm figuring shit
Yeah,
out.
they're covered in goo.
Yeah.
Okay, so what exactly is it you'd like to do, Ailey?
All right. So my first initial idea was to pick the clay up and like wrap it over the stamp thingy, but
Over
clearly
the
that-
outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what do you want to do? Like cover the entire thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do that to the first one, and
Yeah.
you now have a wooden cylinder, which you
Covered
can
in
no
clay.
longer see the carvings because it has been encased in clay, essentially.
That doesn't seem right. Someone else try. I'll clean the clay off.
No, wait, you're
Can we
on.
st-
You're
can we
onto
stop
something.
beating about the bush here.
Like, unwrap it slowly and put
Oh.
it down.
Oh, okay. All right.
Words.
I will peel the clay
There
off.
we go. So you peel the clay off. Thank Christ. And after peeling the clay off, you realize that it has created almost like an illustrated textbook page, essentially. And the first cylinder, now that you've essentially printed it in the clay, seems to detail the history of how the Gripply became masters of farming giant crabs. And it actually shows a few little diagrams of how they do it, keeping them in water pens. And yeah, this first one really seems to be about the Gripply becoming skilled and prosperous trading crabs. There's even some pictographs showing them loading them onto foreign ships to sell. And that's all that's come out of this one.
Okay. Nice little story here. Let's do the same with which one? Give me that one. I'll take the other one.
Take the second one. There's three.
Yeah.
So you take the second one out of the book, and you do the same process. And the second cylinder's story seems to begin with serpent-like creatures, half man, half snake, lurking ominously outside what you assume represents the Gripply village. The serpent folk seem to rush in and capture and kill many of the Gripply who try to stand against them, but this cylinder's story ends with the village falling into disarray and being half ruined. And the giant crabs seem to escape from their cages and flee back to the sea.
All those
Okay.
poor creatures.
And I
Number
assume you
three.
repeat the
Number
process
three.
of the third one, yeah.
Yeah.
And the third cylinder's story depicts and explains this time the aftermath of the Serpent Folk's attack. The village seems to be vacant and almost all the buildings have been razed. Still standing is the Gripply's temple to their deity. Except standing on the steps and in the temple are these unusual snake creatures.
Getting PTSD here.
And you also see a date printed at the
Mhm.
end of the third cylinder.
How long ago was this?
The date appears to be in an era gone by. It seems to be hundreds of years old that these cylinders were created.
I'm beginning to think Pelk lied a little bit about it being a recent thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't-
regardless,
It
it
might
seems
not. Sorry.
it seems to me that we need to go to this. Maybe history's repeating itself or some nonsense like that that scholars love to say. My assumption is that our job is going to be relatively simple because we weren't supposed to get the real information. We're supposed to redo some supply line or some nonsense like that. I assume that what we're meant to do is essentially go to this village, kill some evil snake folk that are being mean to frog people, and then the frog people will continue the trade. That's my assumption. But you know, I am open to being incredibly wrong.
If they
I
still
hope you are,
exist.
because I kind of hope there is some diplomacy or something that we can do with these snake people. Because if we don't have to kill them, why should we? I mean, absolutely, we need to kill them. Let's kill them, but let's not just rush to violence.
I don't know if we should keep calling them snake people, frog people. They do have a name, their race.
Do
All
I
right,
know
sure,
what
Grimleys,
the
whatever, that's
Yuanti
fine.
are?
Let's okay.
Uh,
I'll
Spoilers,
say
do I know what the Yuanti are?
Solaris and Wally, make me a history check.
Okay.
23.
Okay,
Five.
nope, that was just Solaris and Wally, not you, Karen.
I'm a member of the people too.
So, Solaris, you're not sure what they're referring to. You've never crossed paths with any kind of snake people, really. I mean, you've heard stories about the Feywild with giant snakes and stuff, but you have a hard time imagining that being in this plane of existence.
My race doesn't like them. They're
Yeah, this seems to be something related to the material plane. And Wally, you instantly recognize what this is referring to. And as soon as you see the pictures, it becomes pretty certain in your mind. And honestly, a chill kind of runs up your spine a little bit, because these are quite clearly Yuanti that are depicted. And you know the Yuanti to be amongst the most ancient races in the realms. They're an empire gone by, so old that most historians have never even really heard of them beyond, rumors and legends. You know that they are still very much so real, and that they do tend to be very aggressive in devotion to their dark gods. And I'd say with a 23, you know that they were once a human-esque civilization that openly sought to be mutated by their gods into the snake-like race they are today. And generally speaking, meetings with the Yuanti is not something that most people would survive.
Really? This information?
referring to the third cylinder,
Mhm.
it looks like kind of backing into my religious background, it looks like they might be perhaps controlling the frog people, or they might be I guess not gods, but devout. So it might not be as simple as just them running into snake people. Snake people might be controlling them, maybe.
In case anybody wants to use the proper term, it's Yuanti. That's
Thank you.
that's the proper term for snake people.
Auntie and
Yuanti.
Ripley's.
Gripply's.
So it looks like the Yuanti and the Grippleys had a dispute a long, long time ago. And something might have caused another rift.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know if I'd call it a
dispute may be
dispute,
a
more
little,
like a takeover.
little charitable.
A hostile takeover.
It's very...
I mean, it doesn't even look like any of them survived.
We
And
don't
like
know.
I
that.
said, with a much deeper voice just a second ago, these Yuanti are incredibly aggressive. So I could imagine it being like a hostile takeover, give us your land, this is our farms now, kind of thing.
Well, let's go take it back then, shall we?
I mean, if all else fails, it'll make Pelk feel better if we save the Gripply.
What I mean by what I said is just that we might be careful because they might not be willing to help us outright if they feel like they need to be subservient. Does that make sense?
Might be on our own.
We should
Sort
go
of.
find out more information. Do anything else. Why don't
Agreed.
we go down to these caves and around?
So you're
Let's
gonna
go
go
find-
find
Might or
Michael?
yarns.
Maito Jans. Okay, so you is everybody wanting to do this? Does anybody want to get anything else done before you go and find
only
the ship
thing
captain?
Wally wants to do is quickly scratch down some random stuff and just put it in his bag for now.
Not copying a book there, are you, Wally?
No. This is my own personal.
Okay.
Book cylinders.
So you
I
take some
will
notes,
message you later.
and then you okay, cool. And then you leave and you find Brother Robert again, who very, very happily leads you down. He actually allows you through the hidden door in the back of the wall into the admissions office and down another corridor that begins to wend downwards as you realize that you are passing through the very cliffs and walls themselves of Candlekeep Fortress. And eventually it opens out into a large inlet, if you like, situated in a cave at the base of the cliff. The sea bobs along here with a few docks, and there are some ships here already, but most of them, the masts are down and they don't look ready for sailing. However, the one closest to you in this underground cave system is ready. You can see it's all been done up. There are a few crew milling about, and a large half-orc dressed in very sailorly clothes, a loose-fitting cloth shirt and a red bandana adorns his head, is leaning against a few crates, looking bored out of his mind. As you reach the bottom of the wending staircase and enter this cave, Brother Robert points towards him and goes, "Oh, there he is. That's Maito. He's well, he's reliable.
Large?
He's certainly large. Yes. I was trying to think of a nice adjective. I mean, yeah. So that's Maito. He'll take you where you need to go. He is being paid. Feel free to remind him of that if you have to. Other than that, good luck, I suppose. And I hope I see you back here soon.
Brother Roberts, and I'll hand, just so I can get this out of my inventory now, hand this scrawled note to Brother Roberts. And
sure.
I just say, please read this when you get back to your post.
Do you want to message me what that is?
I will, yeah.
You can. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, you hand him this note and he goes, "Oh, I don't know what this says right now, but thank you." And he tucks it into one of the folds of his robes and kind of gives you all a little nod and begins heading back up the staircase.
Passing notes around the class, but in D&D.
Exactly.
Well, I am intimidated. Somebody else talk to this man. He's like 8 feet taller than I am.
I'll do it. Hello there. It appears that we are now in essentially a contract together.
So as you approach Mysore Chiron, you do see that this guy, while he might have been slightly exaggerating, but not by that much, this guy stands a little bit under 7 feet tall, and you can see he's got dark grey skin, and his half-orcan features are quite prominent amongst half-orcs that you've known. His arms are knotted with muscle, and you can see silvering hairs as he begins to age, just covering any open skin you can see, essentially, other than his face. This guy's definitely been on the sea a while. And he kind of looks down towards you, barely moving, still leaning back on these crates, and he goes, all right. You're the ones I'm to take to see our little frog friends, are you?
It seems that way.
Right. Well, couple of rules before you're on my ship. We ain't fighting with you. You getting your own scraps, you handle that. We ain't coming off the ship either. We're going to sit there until you're ready to go back. I didn't want to go back to this trading post, but thankfully, our robed friends are paying me a huge amount of money to do so.
Why exactly did you not want to go back?
Well, you see, Trevins, one of the lads on the crew, he can speak with the Gripply. I can't, really. They never even tried to talk to me. But he can speak to them. Some strange tongue I don't understand. And what they say to him, yeah, I wouldn't bother going if I was you. I could just drop you off down the shore if you want. You can go home.
And tell them what exactly, that we all perished.
Yeah, could do that. As long as I get paid, I don't mind.
These people have needed our help. We're going to be going.
Kind of cocks an eyebrow at you, Solaris. He goes, now that I haven't seen before. And I deal with frog people all the time. Not giant birds.
Fortunately, get that quite often.
Yeah, I imagine you do.
Well, stop gawking and let's get going, if we may.
Right, well, welcome aboard. It'll be probably about a day and a half to the trading post. They're quite far along the Sword Coast, and well, once we reach the trading post, I've been instructed, if you so desire, an early death, to take you along to the village after. I've no idea why you'd do that. All joshing you aside, some of the things the Gripply have said to Trevins is that anyone going there is gonna, well, end up getting sacrificed, they reckon. Didn't say to what, but I don't really want to be sacrificed to anything, if I'm honest.
Good thing you're staying on the ship then.
Isn't it? Right, well, if you're ready, you'll find cabins prepared for you. It's not much, but ain't that long a journey, so no complaining.
I'll walk aboard.
He leads you onto the ship and sort of directs you down below deck, where the smell of not so fresh seafood is pretty overwhelming at this point. And he kind of points to some bunks on one side of the ship and he goes, those are yours. Pass the time however you like, just don't get in the crew's way. All right. Well, can I help you with anything else, or you ready to set off? Faster me and my boys can be home, the better.
Let's set sail.
To go.
All right, then. And he disappears, and slowly but surely, the ship does begin to careen out of the caves in the cliffs of Candlekeep and heads towards slightly more open sea, although still strongly following the coast, which you can see out of portholes along the sides of the ship. Now, it is a bit over a day's journey to the Gripply trading post. Do any of you have anything that you'd like to do on the journey, or are you all going to sit it out, essentially?
I want to chat to Katra.
There's something I would like to do as well.
I would like to chat with
Me
Wally.
too.
I like doing things.
We all got stuff to do. There we go.
Yeah, we're now on the open sea, and, well, you're free to do whatever you like. So, Haley, why don't you take it away?
Sweet. All right. Well, I would go wherever Katra's hanging out.
Katra's
Just-
probably in a corner, terrified because she's never been on a boat before.
I was about to ask you that exact question.
Mhm.
Yep. So I'm gonna come up to you and as I don't know, I'm kind of old, so as grandmotherly as I can, I'm going to try and comfort you. Please don't bite me or anything. I'll just walk up to her and be like, So I'm guessing this is your first time on a boat on the sea.
Yeah, we don't have boats in the mines because there's no water in mines usually. So yeah, I've never been on a boat. Not a fan of it. Not gonna lie.
Well, you know what? I've found what usually helps is if you just keep your eye on the horizon. So just look out and enjoy it. You know, it's wide open spaces. It's the exact inverse of the mine.
Oh,
It's quite freeing. You can listen to the seagulls if they're running around, flying around. Seagulls don't run. You might even see a dolphin. They're quite wonderful.
I feel like I might fall off the boat if I go up there.
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of rope. We can even tie you to one of the masts if you like.
I can't swim.
You won't need to swim. I promise. If you fall overboard, we're gonna jump in and we're gonna get you.
Ellie, you might want to flick your mic down a little bit. It's really loud, by the
Okay.
way. That's everyone
All right.
else's.
Cool.
Wally very bluntly goes, "Yeah, if you fell in that armor, you'd probably sink pretty quick anyway."
Oh
I'm
no!
gonna elbow
Don't tell
Wally.
me that.
Well, I would assume, that's a good thing to note, actually. I would assume that the heavier armor wearers amongst us are not wearing it at sea.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Wally becomes
I-
a cork.
I was gonna say, I look at my armor like.
Yeah, Katra doesn't really have any other clothes, so
Yeah.
armor it is.
I shouldn't have worn my armor, but here we are.
So, yeah, if you would like some company around the ship and can show you some stuff if you like, take your mind off of it. Don't want you sitting here panicking for the entire journey.
Okay, but I'm gonna hold on to your arm so I don't fall off the boat.
That's fine by me.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. And I'm gonna just walk around and talk stuff and show her cool things.
All right, so you give her a little tour of
Yeah.
how the ship works, while definitely staying out of the way of the rather meager crew on board the ship. And yeah, I mean, eventually, Katra, you do get used to the swaying of the sea beneath you. You're not far off the coast at all. You're kind of following it, 1 or 2 kilometers off the coast, and it's fairly smooth sailing. I mean, you're not really on the open sea yet, so there's not much to contend with, and it's actually quite a pleasant journey in a way. You're going up the Sword Coast and passing a few towns and villages that you vaguely recognize, although it's hard to tell what they are from here. And yeah, I mean, the journey is rather uneventful. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to get done on the ship?
I'd
Herman
like to
said
have
that
a
you were
very
next.
brief chat with Wally,
I can't wait.
away from everyone else. So essentially, I would attempt to find Wally, take him to a single room or whatever,
No.
and just prestidigitation, making just some colorful lights as I just do some strumming. Wally, don't forget that we are both a part of the same brotherhood. I did notice that you passed some sort of note to our employer. I just wanted to let you know that I plan on, at some point, informing the Waterdeep chapter about what happened with the mine. Now, I will not speak ill of you or anything like that. I will let them know that you would love to have the platinum, which I frankly don't care about. But I will be telling them about the portal, and I expect that the rock likely didn't permanently close the portal.
Yeah,
I just thought,
I have my hesitation to say that 2 sticks of dynamite would do enough to actually close off the portal. I mean, like Zarmus did when we were there, he threw a rock through it. Maybe all of it just got shunted into the portal as well.
very possible. I just thought that as essentially associates, well, literally associates now, that I'd do you the kindness of letting you know. Of course, I'd prefer if this stayed between you and I. The others, they don't see the value in knowledge. Now, of course, I recognize that I've been bemoaning some of the more esoteric decisions by the individuals in Candlekeep, but I feel like they are a bit of an exception, whereas the Brotherhood seems to actually use the knowledge.
Chiron, I can tell you truth hand to whatever god you believe in. That note that I passed to Brother Roberts does not have to do with the Feywild portal.
Oh, I wouldn't have been concerned at all. In fact, I assumed that you told them about it and that Solaris, at the very least, would have written that it has been closed. But
I mean, yeah, it was her draft of that section, but yeah.
But yes, I just figured I'd let you know that I do plan on informing our superiors. At least my superiors. I'm not entirely sure how the upper workings of the Brotherhood works. I'm a bit of a single finger upon a hand, a part of a larger system, but figured I'd at least let the hand know. But yes, if we could keep this away from the others, just so they don't become concerned about anything like that, I think that would be quite helpful.
Sure thing. No problem. Just don't touch the ore.
Yeah, look, I'll let them know that by all rights, you should have it, although technically speaking, I believe our newest companion should potentially inherit it, but frankly, I don't care. I don't really care about the ore at all, and frankly, I doubt the Brotherhood will either. They seem to have plenty of monetary means besides that, so...
Thanks,
For all intents and
Chiron.
purposes, the ore is yours.
All right, so anybody else wanting to do anything? As the journey is progressing now, and we're nearing eventually, after a rough sleep on the sea overnight, we are nearing the trading post.
I would like to do something.
What would you like to do?
Well, I'm actually going to try and ask one of the crew, and I would just say I would have done this early on in the journey
Sure.
to point out Trevins for me.
Sure. Yeah, you go up to this lanky-looking guy fixing some of the rigging with a ginger mop and ask him to point out Trevins, and he turns around kind of wide-eyed and with a cocked eyebrow, and he goes, "Oh, that'd be me, mate. Yeah?"
Oh, well, that's quite helpful. My name is Zarmus. I'm part of the group going to see about the Gripply, and I understand you speak some of their language.
Well, that's what people like to say, but actually there's some of them who will talk to you if you're nice to them.
So they speak common?
One of them, yeah. When this all started happening, I got sent by the captain to ask where our shipments were, and one of them, like, I think she was like a leader or something, she spoke to me, yeah. She said about what had been going on.
But you don't know any of the Gripply language, then?
No, I'm not a frog, mate.
Oh.
Dude,
Oh,
I
well.
love these sailors.
Well, I was going to ask if you could teach me some of the language.
I can show you to the one I spoke to when we're there, if you like,
Well,
if the
I
captain will allow us.
I suppose that that will have to help. Very well then. I'll leave you to it.
What are you doing going there anyway? You're like a bit of a peculiar lot.
Well, we've been hired by the people of Candlekeep to help with the seafood deliveries and see if they can be restored.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Me, you know, I'm the kind of guy that helps with the seafood deliveries, right? You lot, you don't really look like the type.
Well, we're being paid quite handsomely to do it, and it seems like there might be more going on here than is quite apparent, so it's a chance to help out a group of people who seem to be getting persecuted.
Yeah, I guess. Just get paid.
Yes, but I don't need you for anything else, so I'll leave you to it.
All right. He kind of shrugs and turns back to his rigging.
That's it. I was going to want to learn some phrases like hello and we come in peace and stuff like
Where's
No,
the
that.
no, you don't
bathroom?
get
I'd
that.
like a
Take me to your
beer.
leader.
Yeah. But, oh well.
Solaris doesn't want to do anything, but I want it to be known that she's pretty much flown up to the top where it's like just perched
Crow's
at
nest.
the top. Yeah, at the crow's nest. And you can just see some like just fire flares every once in a while up there. That she's just practicing her spells and getting them ready.
Nice.
Aw.
There's a giant flaming owl on top of the ship. That
Nice.
won't erase any suspicions.
It's totally fine.
I try to start some sea shanties with the crew. I assume I fail.
You fail miserably.
Oh.
I assume so. I go out like real happy, like, what do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor?
Oh, I wish I was in Sherbrooke now.
All right, so yes,
sorry, go
Wally.
ahead. No,
Anything
I'll
else?
do it later. It's fine.
Okay, fantastic. So the journey begins to reach its close, and you see yourself approaching the trading post on the coast. And you can see that a little bit beyond here is where the supposed Cloakwood begins. You can see quite a dense, dark, almost marshy forest land begin past this trading post. So you reach this small coastal post, and you can see the large warehouses that would obviously be used for loading and unloading and making deals as to what to ship out. But it seems as though around them there's been a lot of kind of like makeshift ramshackle shanty huts put up, presumably to deal with the huge influx of people fleeing to this trading post from the village. So as the coastal mist clears and you really get near it, you get your first good look at it. And yeah, these ramshackle shelters are clustered around the large warehouse, and the low rumble of many voices softly croaking can be heard as your ship pulls up to the dock. However, as your ship pulls up, a small squad of Gripply bearing tridents rush up and block your way off the ship, leveling their tridents at you.
Oh, nice.
They croak and grunt at you, and this is what they look like. They're pretty cute, by the way.
Yeah, I don't want them to
Gripplids
be
are
like
cute.
slimy and
This is what they
disgusting. I
look
want them
like.
to be little and cute.
Look
Yeah,
at
You
them.
can see them.
They're
it's
adorable.
adorable. I
So
like
they-
it. I like that picture. He's got a little frog in his hand.
He
That's-
does have a little frog
Hmm.
friend, but they adopt a low fighting stance against you and level their tridents at you and begin croaking and grunting at you. And to all but one of you, it sounds incoherent to your ears. But Solaris, you speak primordial, don't you?
I do.
They're saying, what business do you have here? The Gripply lands are not safe.
And I guess Solaris is gonna start responding in Primordial.
So to the rest of you, this sounds like a series of grunts and almost guttural throat
Guttural.
noises. And you have no idea what Solaris is saying.
We are here to assist you. We are been sent from Candlekeep. And we would like a safe passage into your village.
At the mention of Candlekeep, you can see the Gripplies relax a little bit. And they slowly, kind of checking each other, raise their tridents and take a step back. And the one who seems to be in charge of them in the center says to you again in Primordial, he goes, "Welcome to Cloakwood. Please speak to the Pond Mother."
And where can I find this plum mother?
And make me a perception check, Solaris.
Okay.
And you can as well, Zarmus, actually.
Oh,
Goes Armus.
11.
13. I'll say, Solaris, you feel a little uneasy for some reason. Zarmus, you can see that Trevins is staring in wide-eyed disbelief that Solaris can speak to the Gripplies. And they look at you for a while and they just gesture towards the large warehouse building and just go, "She's in there. You can find her at the back," is what they say to you in Primordial.
Very well. Thank you for your assistance. And then Lars is gonna change into common again. Follow me, guys. They want us to meet someone this way.
Okay,
I'm not gonna ask questions. Let's just go.
so you
how
guys
does
step on.
Solaris know their language?
I was gonna say, like, so you speak. Okay.
You speak
Yes.
Ripley?
It's called Primordial. It's an ancient tongue, written down from languages long lost.
When you're
Sounded like you were
saying
coughing.
when you're saying this, one of the guards, the Gripply warriors, has begun to lead you to the warehouse, and as you say this, he actually stops, and you nearly walk into his back, and you can see his frog-like face turn around, and with seemingly great strain and difficulty, he goes, "Not Ripley language, primordial different." And it seems like it's almost paining him to speak in common.
My apologies, and I'm saying this in primordial now. My apologies, I didn't mean to offend. You were correct. And then back to common for everyone. The language is primordial. It is a universal, and it's not necessarily a Gripply language. My
And
apologies.
He responds to you in fluent primordial with a much easier cadence, and he says to you, "That's okay. We simply can't speak common easily." And he begins leading you back to the warehouse.
Well,
All
I
it
find it
takes
at
is-
least valuable that they understand common. I find that quite nice.
And as you reach the warehouse, you're led inside, and you can see that stocks here are beginning to run low. It looks as though the Gripply are saving all of their supplies for themselves, and it's getting to be somewhat of a desperate situation in here. You can see several of them arguing, this time in a language you don't understand, Solaris, which is much more akin to the sort of booming throat sounds and croaks that you might associate traditionally with actual frogs. And they seem to be arguing with each other in this fluent, bizarre language to hear to your ears. And it looks as though things are getting a little bit heated. But you're led towards the back where there's been almost a makeshift throne, if you like, except the Gripply who sits in it is clearly somewhat elder. She stands almost half a head taller than the Gripply surrounding her, and she appears to be wearing some sort of formal ornamental headdress. And she eyes you as you approach in this very simple wooden chair that's been set up almost as though just to receive audiences and try to sort out what's happening here. And she eyes you as you approach, and she stands from the chair and says in common, "Welcome, everyone, to Gripply lands."
Good day. Thank you so much for allowing me and my company to enter your lovely home.
With this, a strange, almost half cough noise comes from her that you quickly decipher to be akin to a laugh. She goes, "Our home is not here, but you are welcome," and looks at all of you. She says, "I must know, before you help, why come here?"
To help.
It is part of my family's generational to help and assist those that are in need. That is at least why I am here.
She kind of glances around at the rest of you.
Yeah, I heard the story of the Gripply and the I don't know if you have a derogatory name for them, but the scary snake people, and it seems like
With this, she croaks in response and simply says, "Yuanti."
yeah, that's what
We
I call
know
them
of
too.
their sort. They are old enemy of Gripply.
And it just didn't seem fair, based on what we know, for you to basically be torn away from your town and temple. Just didn't seem right. That's why I'm here.
And you see the features of this aged Gripply almost furrow in a human-like expression, and she goes, "Yuanti first arrived in peace, but then more came with violence.
Were they after?
The kind ones said there were relics, ancient Yuanti artifacts. We saw no reason to not help. They came to us earnestly and seemed to be enemies of those who came after. Those who came after killed Gripply and Yuanti alike to claim relics for themselves.
Were they themselves Yuanti?
Yes.
Oh, why would they kill their own brethren? That's weird.
So, essentially what I'm hearing is the ones who are currently around can't be reasoned with.
Not for us. Maybe for you.
Do you have any idea how
Ripley's
many there
not
are?
a fighting people. We are peaceful folk. We could not defend ourselves against them.
Hmm.
How many?
Yeah.
Of the kind ones, perhaps 10. Afterwards, perhaps 20. Although many left after the initial attack.
Has anyone been back since? Scouts?
Ripley?
Yeah.
We have spied where we can, but very dangerous for Gripply to go near. We stay away.
And the Yuanti, they're all in your old village. That's where the artifacts are.
No. They are in old Gripply village, but temple is where artifacts are, just outside Gripply village.
All right.
How long ago did this happen?
And you can see her seemingly not know how to answer the question. And she just goes, 10 2 days.
We understand. We would like to assist you in this matter.
And she kind of just looks at you and goes, how? You look as though you can fight, but the Yuanti will kill anyone.
Yes, but I would like to see if they can be reasoned with first, before violence.
She kind of nods and goes, nobody has seen the kind Yuanti since the attack. Some must remain. Perhaps they will be of use.
Hopefully. Would you be able to give us a map of where this old village would be? We'll be on our way.
She kind of thinks for a moment and goes, we Gripply do not use maps so much. Follow the coast. Your captain will know where the village is. You cannot miss our crab farm.
Very well.
I have
Sorry,
a question.
Oh,
Sorry.
Go ahead. You go ahead first, Katsu.
I was going to say, the Yuanti, can you tell us about them? Do they do anything special?
And she kind of looks a bit perplexed at the question and goes, they are snake like you, but also snake. They eat our eggs.
Do they use magic?
I do not really know. Yuanti are ancient enemy of our people, but we do not see them in my lifetime or many of my ancestors.
I was wondering if there are any Gripply left in the village. Are they being forced to work for the Yuanti in any way?
We have seen Gripply being made to excavate temple. We think temple was Yuanti before we found.
That would explain why everything else was raised and that remained.
Would you like us to save and rescue your people then?
I cannot really pay you, but yes.
No need, my
Being
friend.
paid more than enough already.
Do you have any idea where we could find any of the, maybe a name of a good Yuanti? If there really are, you know, a lot of these people there, we'll get as many allies as we can.
I did not speak to many of the Yuanti. She thinks for a moment. So you go, I think two Yuanti speak to me. One's name was... Zooms in on notes. Vorsa. That's Vorsa.
And do you know if Bosra is still at the temple, or are they one of the people that have fled?
I do not know what happened to the kind Yuanti. Only that they were attacked, much like Gripply, by the invaders. I can offer one payment. Yuanti relic, or anything not Gripply that you find, is yours.
That's very generous of you.
We don't want them here anymore.
Right. We understand. We will save as many of your people as possible. Everyone ready?
Yeah, let's get going.
We go back to the ship.
Okay, so you return to the ship after leaving the Pond Mother, and yeah, I mean, it looks as though Maitor is on deck waiting for you, and he goes, all right, ready to head to the old village, as it were?
Where?
Well, I'm not taking you all the way there, but I'll drop you at the start of the crab farms. Other than that, and I'm endangering my crew.
Understood.
So he does ferry you up the coast a little bit more, and as you start approaching the crab farms, you can see that actually these are similar to wooden docks, although far greater in scale. You see that there's columns of stone in between each one, and built around them are these wooden platforms connected by rickety-looking gangways that touch the sea or even disappear beneath the wave surfaces. In the distance, you can see the marshy shore continuing into a swamp-like area with trees dotted around sporadically. As you get closer aboard the vessel, you can see that dark shapes every now and again catch your eye, moving below the surface of the water. And occasionally even a flash of red carapace.
Big crabs.
Would they be dangerous?
How big are the crab? Like, how big is like the shapes?
You can only see like flashes, but you can make me a nature check if you want, so you can figure it out.
Sure. 4.
Big.
Big.
Crab big. Bigger than a normal crab.
All right.
And when you say this, Zarmus, a crewman next to you just goes, yep, that's why they're called giant crabs.
I love these sailors.
Great.
Now, let's not fall in the water ever.
That
And you
sounds
can
like a
see-
good plan.
The ship slowly slows until you are kind of at the connecting point of one of the furthest out of these wooden platforms. this like interlinking maze of wood, half of which disappears below the waves. And Maitor goes, well, don't forget you wanted to come here. Off you go. We'll circle around and pick you up in a bit. And he flashes you this toothy grin.
Gotta come back.
Who's stepping up?
Get off the ship.
I will
Let's
get
go.
back.
Make
I
landfall.
What do you mean who's stepping off? No, we're just gonna go back to Candlekeep. Screw the
Flying
frog
off.
people.
It's an option. So you
Crabs are
step
too
out.
much.
You step out onto these strange wooden platforms, and you can see the water. You're right by the coast, and although you know some of you have barely been on the water at all, it's apparent to all of you that the sea probably shouldn't churn this much, considering how close to the coast you are. And you're left with probably not that far. Probably in total, it's just a couple 100 meters of wooden platform to traverse, but in this rickety-looking maze, which you can now see are the pens in which the giant crabs are farmed in. How would you like to approach this?
Carefully.
Do we really? Is there really no way of getting by besides on these sketchy docks?
There's no way that, like, you know, you could have, like, Jans could have sailed in there because there's just these wooden platforms everywhere.
I have an idea before we cross these scary things. I prepared it yesterday because I don't like the water and there's a lot of water here. And I cast water walk on everyone.
Okay.
Nice.
So would you like to read out Water Walk and say exactly what it does?
Yeah, I can put it in
Fairly
the thing.
self-explanatory, but
Yeah, so basically the spell gains the ability to move across any liquid surface, such as water, acid, mud, for an hour, and I can do it up to 10 creatures willing that I can see within my range. So,
okay. So you're
all of
casting
us-
on everyone in the party.
yeah.
And so what's your plan? Are you going to move across the water, or are you going to stick to the wooden platforms?
Well, we'll try to stick
I
to the
will
wooden
say
platforms,
Going
but
across the water would allow you to kind of go as the crow flies, almost like on and off the platforms.
Mm.
But it would.
it's basically just a reassurance in case anybody does fall in the water.
Okay. And what is your, as a group, or you can do individually, what is your attitude towards traversing these platforms? Are you going slowly and carefully, or are you legging it?
I would go carefully.
Dude,
Who's legging it? Like, it's so dangerous.
I would.
To be honest,
also
I
like
was
to-
considering it.
Oh,
considering legging it. Oh
they'll-
god.
they'll break.
I got an acrobatics of like 6. It's fine.
Okay.
Wally doesn't.
I'm going slowly because I'm scared.
I will
put
stick at the
slowly and
group's
carefully.
pace. I'm not going to
Do
just
you-
run ahead.
And that. Oh, sorry, Solaris, go ahead.
Does everyone think I could fly overhead to see if there was any issues as we get there, and just double check our surroundings, if you'd like?
I think that
Problem
might
is,
be
you might alert them.
big warning sign for them.
Big bird.
That is
Big
that's
flaming
true.
owl.
Yeah, they might think it's the end days and flee. We could always hope for that, but it's highly unlikely. Here, what I'll do is I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on everyone,
Okay.
which basically says
It prevents
avail-
magical detection, and you don't
Yeah,
leave
so-
footprints, etc. Yes.
Yeah, so we're sneakier, so we can approach hopefully carefully and get a good eye on things before they jump out and try kill us.
Okay.
I will do
It's
that.
the crabs I'm worried about.
I'm also
Just so
worried
you
about
know,
the crabs.
even casting Pass Without a Trace, things can still see you.
Okay.
Just that you don't leave a trace, and you can't be magically
Oh.
detected.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically, Katra at disadvantage stealth here. Can
Well-
still make a loud ass noise.
Okay, I mean, because you guys are traversing these rickety wooden platforms, I'm going to need and this is not going to be the only one, I'm going to need a dexterity check from everybody in the group, please.
Okay.
Sweet. So a check.
Yes.
Okay.
11.
14.
Hi, team.
16.
Wow.
15.
Okay, so I was doing this for everyone because you were going to have to make 6 as a group. So your traversal across the crab farm is going to be dictated by these 6 rolls, basically. So you start out, and you're pretty unsure because, you know, so many of these platforms are in disrepair and many of the steps disappear beneath the waves. And you do see the flashes of red carapace and strange forms seemingly stalking you to begin with. But as you begin to move more and more surely, you guys pretty much nail it and you manage to traverse the entirety of the crab farm platforms with only a few flashes of red appearing out the side of your eye, until eventually you reach a low wall separating kind of the real shoreline from the sea, almost like a breakwater, if you like. And you pass this, and it appears that now you're kind of on the border of the true Gripply village, and that they would come out to these farms to work on the crabs. However, you see figures moving, and it becomes apparent that there are several Yuanti traversing this village. Now, you figure that from how you approached, including in a ship, they must have seen you. But as it currently stands, the Yuanti seem disinterested and are mostly just traveling solo or in pairs around the village looking for something, and seem to be paying you no heed currently.
So wait, have they made eye contact, or they're just ignoring us completely?
They're pretty far away right now. Like, you're just at the breakwater. These guys are probably, you know, a good distance away into the village, but you can see their figures moving, and you're at a distance where you would assume they'd seen you approaching.
Okay.
Do we see the temple at all? From this
Yes,
point?
you can see the temple beyond the village, just upon a slight hill towards the backside.
Where do you think we guys should head first?
I'm kind of curious if we can nab one of these guys walking by themselves. See if we can get some info from them.
What if they attack us?
Then we attack back.
The only thing I would say is if they must have seen us approach, and they didn't immediately attack us. Is it possible that these are the kind ones?
Maybe?
I will put you on the map of the Gripply village so you can navigate.
But I still find it very weird that they didn't, even if they're nice, that they didn't acknowledge us at all. I mean, the other Gripplies were pretty quick to notice us and come out and see us. These guys seem pretty disinterested?
Well, that's a good or a bad thing. So where are we on the map, Connor?
So you are where you see where it says breakwater. Can you guys see that? I will reveal it to you if you can't see that.
I don't see text. Yeah.
Okay. So essentially, you guys are on the left-hand side. You can see that all of these like spindles are the wooden platforms. That's the crab farms, and you see where they kind of meet the inlet of water to the village. You're right there on that wall, exactly where it's just being. I will reveal some labels for you as you go around.
Okay.
So you are currently where it says breakwater.
And the temple is the little house on top of the hill there?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just revealing. For some reason, like map markers, even where you've been a default hidden. So there you go. There you
Your
go. You should be
YouTube,
able
I'm
to see
trying.
that. Yeah.
It's fine.
Just trying our best. Don't worry.
I'm
All right, there you
trying.
go. So you should be able to see things now, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And so just for your reference, you are currently standing round about here. And the Yuanti, you see them just walking in. There's a pair to the south down here. And there's a pair up here that seem to be looking in and out of buildings. But the main congregation you see is a few talking to each other outside this large circular hut that is the Pond Mother's home.
Well, how do you want to approach this? Shall we come in peace, or?
I would prefer peace before. I could go and try to speak with them.
I
Should
don't
we go
think you should
around,
go alone.
or should we go straight through? I mean, we can technically walk on this water. I'm actually gonna like attempt to like step on the water.
Yeah, it steps like a solid
Okay,
wooden
cool.
surface to you, essentially.
Catherine, not that I didn't trust your magical abilities, I just had never had this cast upon me before, and I didn't know how it worked exactly, so.
I'm glad it's working too.
Of course.
They seem disinterested.
Maybe we should approach and maybe we can find out what they're so interested in and then go from there.
Perhaps we should go for one of the isolated pairs first.
I agree.
Very well.
I say
So
we
are
head
you
south,
approaching stealthily, or are you going normally, or are you
think we
not
go
trying to hide your
normally.
presence? Okay.
Full honk.
So there is quite a bit of distance because you have to walk around the dock water essentially to get there. So you do lose sight of both pairs at several points. And as you sort of, we'll say that, I mean, I'll drop a token just for one of you so you guys can kind of see where you are. Who wants to be it? There you go, Agatha, you can go on the map. So
Nice.
basically where you currently are is around about here.
Yeah.
And from where you're standing, it appears as though the pair that were investigating to the north of you are no longer there. You can't see them moving around whatsoever. And the pair to the south now appear to have almost been patrolling the area, if you like. And you see them just about around this exit to the village there. The few standing guard, you can't quite make out, but you're pretty sure are eyeing you warily from outside the Pond Mother's home. And those are the current locations that you're aware of.
Are they within speaking distance?
No, you'd have to approach them. There is a scale in the bottom right.
Well, it looks like they know that we're here, and we are currently not being accosted, so I assume we can approach.
Proceed with caution.
Will these creatures speak primordial as well? Do you know,
Make
Wally?
me John, you rolled well on your history now, but I'll say roll it again. Roll a nature check, actually. See if you know about this
Much
race
better
and
at
what
history.
they speak.
Hwaya!
14.
14. You know they probably don't speak primordial. You're not sure what languages they do speak, though.
Yeah, they probably don't speak primordial. I have no idea what they would, but it just doesn't make sense that they would. So, I mean, we could try it, but
Fortunately, I won't be much help then.
maybe they speak giant.
We can find out what they speak. I think we cover a decent range of languages.
I can try draconic.
You speak? I'm not even gonna ask. So, just to reiterate, absolutely, I believe we should do this as diplomatically as possible. I don't feel like we should be threatening as much as we possibly can be, but remember that the Yuanti are usually an aggressive peoples. So just be ready.
Very well.
I'm gonna
Because-
step forward towards the.
So as you make your way towards the group, seemingly guarding this large central hut, we'll take a short break there before you go and have a chat with your new Yuanti friends.
Yarp.
Wonderful. So I believe, I think it was you, Agatha, were just about to approach these Yuanti. Now you're getting a little bit closer to them. You can see that the Gripply description of them was basic, but pretty on point. They seem to vary. As you get closer, you can see that there's 4 figures stood outside. One of them disappears inside as you're watching, but 2 of them appear to be humanoid-looking females who, from this distance, just seem to be human women. But the one standing in between them has the stature of a well-built, muscular man. However, from the shoulders upwards, the body of almost a coiled serpent head. It's the most unusual sight and unlike anything you've ever seen. And as you get closer, the one with the snake head raises a curved blade towards you and goes, "That's far enough."
Stop.
Is that common?
Yes. It's in French.
That is close enough. Stay
That's
back.
fair enough, silly Englishmen. They do not say that. But yes, it
Okay.
raises this curved blade towards you and issues this warning. I
G'day,
will
friend.
put you on a view with them. Do you say good day, friend, to them?
I do say good day, friend.
There's no initial reaction. You can place yourselves on this map, by the way.
I was wondering if there was someone in charge we could perhaps speak to.
The likes of you are bold to be making demands of us.
I'm just
We have
asking
only
nicely.
not attacked, as you have not shown any ill will. What is it you want with us?
We are not coming here with ill will at all, my friend. We just want to talk to whoever's in charge.
You can talk to me.
All right. I'm Agatha. It's nice to make your acquaintance. Who might you be?
We don't sully ourselves fraternizing with the likes of you.
Okay.
State your intentions or be gone from this place.
We would like to discuss a truce between the Yuanti and the Gripply.
You speak for the lowly sort?
We don't speak for them. We speak
Well, as
for us.
middlemen.
You do not speak for them. And how are you to negotiate a truce on their behalf? Besides, what need do we have for a truce when clearly we have already won?
Well, you see, if we can't solve this diplomatically, we may have to resort to other means, if you catch my drift.
You seek to threaten us? We were
No, we
old
seek
when
for you
were-
to get what you want without having to disturb the people who inhabited this area. They were, according to them, they were absolutely willing to even help you get what you were looking for here. Yet,
With this, the lead figure, this snake-headed man, pulls his head to the side and spits on the floor, and you can see green corrosive spit begin to erode a stone where it landed. And he turns to you, Chiron, and goes, "You speak of the traitors who came before us, who sullied the name of Yuanti by dealing with such miserable creatures.
so
They
you
will have their
refuse to,
comeuppance in good time.
you refuse to accept help in your endeavors because, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because you feel you are better than the Gripply.
You've never seen a snake smirk at you before, but you're pretty sure that's what's happening." He goes, "But of course, even your pitiful kind stands above them.
How tall is this Yuanti?
It's probably a little bit over 7 feet tall."
So you're. Do you want to stay in the village? Is that your goal?
The snake eyes sweep towards you. His stupid, stuttering, stunted dwarf. Let your betters speak for you.
Well,
Hey now! And then Solar's gonna speak up, and she's gonna like move a little bit closer. Hey now, we are here in peace. You do not insult someone that you have no idea who they are.
And who might you be? You have the look of an ancient one, like ourselves. Yet you sully your good form by associating with these lowly specimens.
My name is Solaris Azar. I am the Keeper of the Flame from the Owl Folk. Regardless of what you think of them, these are my companions and you will show them respect.
He doesn't seem to reply to this, as he just fixes you with a gaze. And after some time, he just goes, "So, why is it you're here? You have no business with us, as we have none with you." Stay
Well,
out of
our
way.
business is that we would like to see the Gripply allowed back in their homes, and for you, look, we're not trying to impede whatever it is you're necessarily doing. We heard that you were looking for ancient artifacts or what have you. We're not looking to impede that. We're just saying that can't you look for these artifacts without harassing the Gripply? I mean, it seems that you are above them, right? So, essentially, harming them seems to be below you.
Allowing their existence to sully our sacred sites is what's below us.
Of course.
We have been sent here to create peace between the two races. There has been a disruption on the seafood, or rather the crab handling, as of late because of the dispute, and we are here to make sure there is a end to it.
Nice.
I stopped wording my words.
With
bleh.
this, words are hard, don't worry.
Words are hard.
With this, the snake-headed Yuanti looks to you and goes, "You mock me with such stupid talk of seafood. We care little for their ways of life. I grow tired of this. Leave us now, or face the might of the Yuanti Empire."
Empire? How many of you are here?
Why would I tell you?
I've not really heard of a Yuanti Empire, and
This
Of
is
course
honestly
I've-
the first time I've heard of them too.
We don't expect such young, foolish races to be aware of their superiors.
if
We
just a point of contest here. If I recall correctly, I come from an incredibly large city here on the coast, up north a bit. More up north than another incredibly large city. I don't recall ever seeing one of your kind, and you are supposedly better than all of us. How can you claim that this empire is so massive and so important because of the entities that rule in it, if I've never seen one of your kind? I've seen many.
With this, you can see his human hand clenching around his curved blade, and he simply goes, "You insult me with this insolence. You will die for these foolish Gripply, and I will laugh as you do so." And we'll
That's
roll
what
some
you
initiative.
think.
There it
I
is. I was waiting
tried.
for
I
it.
tried so hard.
Beating around the bush. To let's
Kyron's
just
like, yeah, let me just
fucking
shit on them.
stuff.
Over and over.
You tried,
Oh.
guys.
I
did,
It was
I did
never
after-
going to be easy, but
I
you
know,
tried.
Wally.
I tried.
Why did you roll an 8?
Why I roll a 7, dude?
Big 3. Let's go.
Not
Hey,
looking forward
there's
to
the
it.
rolls I missed.
All right, let's roll some initiative for these Yuanti fellas.
Are they purebloods? Is that the
tried.
women?
That's
The one
you
that
don't
you're
know.
Well, you
Well, I
guys don't
mean,
know this, but the one that
do
you're
I know?
speaking to is a Malison, and the others are in fact purebloods.
purebloods.
I
yeah.
really hope that we don't come across any, God, what are they called?
Yuanti abominations.
No, anathema.
What?
Wasn't like a thing where we 1T, like there's a difference between the male and the female 1T or something?
They can evolve differently,
Yeah.
essentially, but you can have.
Surprised.
I think nowadays you can have both of any type of Yuanti.
I'm surprised the
Alright.
one type doesn't shun the other. Like, oh, you look different.
Oh,
Well, that's probably why.
they do.
Well, it might not be how you imagine. Out of character, an interesting thing about the Yuanti is actually the more sort of corrupted into a snake-like being you are, the actual higher you are in the castes, essentially.
Fun
fact.
fact: there's only one Yuanti character in all of Vital Champions.
There we go.
Wow.
Thanks,
Yeah.
John.
You're so
Alright.
welcome.
So wow, you guys suck at rolling. Oh my
yes,
god.
we do.
I mean, yeah, I rolled a 3.
So in that case, combat is going to start up with our snake-headed boy at the front here, who is simply going to make a beeline for you, Solaris. He's going to head around the side here. And you see now
Fair.
that he is a towering specimen of an enemy. And he's going to lash out at you, at first with his curved blade, which is going to be a 10 to hit. So I imagine that
Does not
probably doesn't hit. However, as you are dodging the curved blade, the fangs of his jaw are going to lash out towards you. And that is only a 13 to hit.
Also does not hit.
It also does not hit. So you managed to just about parry the initial actions of this Yuanti fighter. However, now it is on to the turn of his... oh, no, it's not actually. It's Agatha's turn. There you go. Agatha,
Woohoo.
you're up.
Quick question. How does it work with
Hello.
ranged weapons in terms of distance? Like, how far do I need to be to...
If somebody is within melee range of you, you have disadvantage.
Okay, so it's fine if they're like 10, 15 feet away.
Yeah, there's no enemy within melee range of you, so
Okay,
it's normal attack.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna then try and hit this lady to the north. I
Okay.
assume it's a lady, I have no idea. With
Yes,
my...
they are. They are. So you can see now you're closer. These are humanoid women, and you think that like maybe if you pass them in the street or at a distance, you would assume they were just a normal human woman, but up close you can see snake-like facial features and yellow slitted pupils and even patches of scaly skin on their arms. They wear almost overtly regal clothing, like lavish silks and jewelry, but there is something distinctly inhuman about them.
Nice. All right, for my bonus action, I'd like to cast my Hunter's Mark on the lady on the north.
Okey-doke. So she is now marked with the Ninja Mask of Hunter's Mark.
Thank you. And I would like to take a shot at her with my longbow.
Go ahead.
24 plus 2.
That's 26. That certainly hits.
That's 26. Nice. And then the damage for the longbow is 7. And then Hunter's Mark is 2. So 9
Okay,
damage.
so you don't manage to get an arrow to land in her, but instead it sort of whistles past her arm, cutting a deep gash in it. And she immediately hisses out, and you see a forked tongue emerge, and she just snaps towards you, goes, "You'll die last for that, intruder."
That's what you think, sweetheart. I would like to take my second attack at the same lady. Do I roll again or take the second numbers here?
You roll again.
Okay. 24.
That is certainly a hit.
Nice. And does Hunter's Mark go twice or just the first time I hit them?
It goes twice, I believe. Is it every time you damage them? Read the
Yeah,
ability,
I
or
think it says... You choose a creature you see within range. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra d6 whenever you hit it with a weapon attack. Okay, cool.
There you go.
Sweet. Nice. All right, so that's 5 piercing and then 3 from the Hunter's Mark. So 8
Yeah,
extra
so you
damage.
almost cut an identical gash on the other arm this time. She kind of recoils backwards a little bit, hissing in pain at the blow. All right.
Next time I'll hit you straight in the chest, sweetheart. And then I'm going to move a little bit.
Anything else? Where are you going to
yeah.
move?
I'm going to move myself just a little bit back over here.
Okay. So it is the turn of the Yuanti Purebloods. Now, as you can see, there are 2 more of them indoors, which you can see now. And these are going to come rushing out first to aid their allies. So they're going to move up to here and here. And let me just quickly check something. Yeah, so you're going to see these 2 sling short bows off their back. And they're going to fire out towards... One of them will go for you, Wally, the top one in the corridor. And that is going to be a 7 to hit. They're not rolling too good. And the other one in the corridor is going to fire towards you, Zarmus. And that is a 14 to hit.
That does not hit.
All right. You want to suck, apparently.
Bulky.
And then these other 2, the one that you hit is going to be blinded by Rage Agatha and actually step forwards and raise her hands and spray a green mist of poison at you.
Oh, goody.
Is going to be a Constitution saving throw from you, please.
Okie dokes. 5.
For the
Good job,
5,
me.
you fail, and this just like noxious, half liquid, half gas catches you in the face as you inhale, and you feel the burning, corrosive nature of it down your throat. And you take 10 points of poison damage, I'm afraid.
Don't let him spit on you.
And this other one is going to run to the side here and do the same at you, Solaris. And that's going to be a con save from you, please.
2, lol.
Yeah. Okay.
20.
20, yeah. So you managed to just completely withstand the effects, and it just sort of like misses against your feathers as you get an arm up in time, and nothing
I take
bad
2
happens.
points of.
No, you take nothing. You take
Okay,
nothing at all. You take absolutely nothing.
Right.
Okay. So that is going to be the turn of the Purebloods. Solaris, you're up.
Seeing them just spray my companion, I'm gonna pick up my my
Yeah,
staff.
I feel like that Pureblood is not going to survive many more turns.
I'm actually gonna pick up my staff and like, it's gonna glow, and I'm gonna reach out and don't worry, my friend, and I'm gonna touch Agatha and cast protection from poison.
Ooh.
It says if you touch a creature, if it's poisoned, you neutralize the poison, and and then for the next hour, the target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
That's against
So that's a-
being poisoned,
being
not
poisoned,
against poison
and resistant
damage.
to poison, and resistance to poison.
And
damage.
resistance to poison damage. Okay, cool. So you will take half damage if you do fail against a poison spray.
Yeah.
Okay,
I feel
quick
like that's
question.
pretty good
Is this
against
like
snake people.
is this like a damage
I
over time
prepared.
thing?
No. It's
Okay.
just-
Yeah, but your current state of poison is now nullified.
Sweet.
she wasn't
Thank you.
poisoned anyway, just to make that very clear. It's just an attack that does poison type damage. That's
Oh,
all it is.
okay.
Okay,
It's not actually poisoning you. But you will have
my bad. then.
resistance against
Protection.
poison.
It's still good.
Nice.
It's fine.
It's
It's
still
still
good.
good.
Thank you.
It's still fine. It's she freaked out. It's fine. And she's gonna end her turn there.
Okay. Zarmus, you're up.
I guess I will. Let's see. Well, the first thing I'll do is I'll cast Hex on the Yuanti right opposite me.
Mhm.
And then I'll just attack it with my long sword.
Okay.
That's a 21.
That certainly hits.
Okay, so it deals 13 slashing damage. Oof.
Wow.
You never see the one that gets you.
Then
that's full damage.
That is full
It's-
damage.
18 damage. Hold on, do I get another 2 from somewhere? Sorry, 1 second. Just seems it's been a little while. No, nothing else from that.
Okay, so 18 points of slashing.
Yeah, and then I'll use my extra attack again and just swing again.
Yep.
That
That certainly hits.
So that's 8 slashing damage.
Yeah, so she's dead with that. So you cut this first huge sort of like necrotic energy seeping out cut across her chest, and then just finish by running your longsword through her, and she drops dead to the floor.
Nice. And that is my turn, but I am concentrating on my spell, so I'll just give myself a little
Okey-dokey.
dot.
All right, Mr. Snockblood, you're up.
Now, everybody in the party knows Wally is an exciting man, right? He's very uppity. But you have never seen him be more excited than what he is about to do.
Blade
boy.
storm.
He's going to walk over here. And I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Giant's Might on myself.
Here we go.
Connor, can you make me a large creature, please?
Oh,
Thank you.
So, in front of your eyes, Wally grows to be about. How tall would you? Well, John, how tall are you when you use your giant's might?
am. Oh, see, it's funny because I'm still the same proportions, but just really big. Like I'm 3 foot. I think I'm 3'9" or something when I'm little. So I'd be like, I don't know. I'm a large creature.
so
I
you're
take
like
up
the
a
Honey I
large...
Shrunk the Kids kind
John
of.
is at least 10 feet tall at this point. You see Wally grow his armor and weapons alongside him until he is a 10-foot, proportionally correct gnome wielding a blade that the largest amongst you couldn't wield with 2 hands.
Holy
What would you like to do, Wally?
Wow. I'm just gonna
Wally smash!
take a swing with my longsword at this Yuanti Pureblood just inside the room
Okay.
there.
Block the
20.
door.
That certainly hits.
And I get an additional d6 because I'm so big, which I will roll alongside the damage. Whack. So that's 7 damage plus d6. 3 to make 7 is 10. Yes. Second attack. Here we go.
So your first attack, you're just so large, and you're not really used to wielding this power yet. And you just swing the sword at this Yuanti Pureblood, and you're so huge, your sword just smashes through the side of the wall and like drags across them, basically.
Wicked! And gonna take another swing. 20 again.
That certainly hits again. You
Now
guys,
I only get 1d6 on one attack a turn,
Okay.
so it's just this damage. But I will invoke my fire rune, which deals 2d6 damage, and she has to make a dexterity saving throw.
okay.
So that's 12 damage from that, and she has to make a
That's
dex
a
save.
4 on the dex save, I'm afraid.
So she fails, taking 2d6 fire damage. Great. And she is shackled in place, restrained in place, I'm sorry, and she can make a dexterity saving throw every turn to break it, but she does take 2d6 damage every turn she fails her dex
Nice. So how much in total was that attack, John? Sorry.
save. It was
12? And then
12,
15?
and 3 is 15, yeah.
Yeah, so your second slash just explodes in flames, and you can see these fiery chains wrap her up. And yeah, that Yuanti is not having a good time.
And
Anything else?
Wally will end his turn there.
All right, Chiron, you're up.
Well, I was considering creating a little bit of a helping hand for us, but it doesn't seem that we necessarily need it, so instead, I'm just going to sing to your demise. Die! I'm going to go ahead and cast Bane. Look, shut up. I'm going to go ahead and cast Bane upon
Okay.
the
Malison.
yeah, Malison. There we go.
You can do up to
this-
3 creatures with
This
Bane,
one
can you?
and this one, yeah.
Yep.
So they have to make a charisma save.
Okay. So the Malison first rolls a 6.
Fail.
And then the Purebloods will do the closest one first. Rolls a 15.
Ties
then-
fail, right? Or ties,
you roll
ties
to
succeed.
You roll
Yeah.
to succeed, yeah. So and then the furthest away one rolls a 5. So these two
Fails.
fail. That one's okay.
Yeah, so they shall have some good old-fashioned disadvantage. Or not disadvantage, sorry. They roll a d4 to subtract.
Okay.
And then as my bonus action, I will go ahead and... hey, Katra. You're great. I'm going to go ahead and just give you a good old-fashioned musical note around you, which is your bardic inspiration, which is a d8.
So
Sweet.
speaking of Katra the Great, it's your turn.
It sure is. I'm gonna move up a little bit beside Solaris here, and I'm going to bonus cast Shield of Faith. So, Solaris, you gain 2 AC
I would thank you.
for it lasts for 10 minutes, so it's probably the whole fight-ish.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is a concentration though, so if I
Okay.
do get whacked, I'll have to keep that in mind. And then I'll take a swing at friggin' lizard face over there.
You call him Lizardface.
Yeah. That is a 12.
12 does hit.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
This guy is
What?
bare-chested, other than
For-
some like leather
Showing off
trousers.
his
basically.
muscles.
10 damage.
Yeah, so you just crunch into his ribs and you feel one crack under the pressure, but he doesn't show or sound out any pain whatsoever.
Sounds good. That's all I do for my turn.
All right, so it is the Malison's turn. Now he's going to turn to you, Agatha, I think, and snap towards you with his snake jaws. And that's going to be a 22 to hit.
That
Can I
certainly
do
does.
something first? I'd like to use my reaction. I'd like to do something else that I haven't done before.
Go ahead.
I'm going to invoke my other rune, which is the Cloud rune. So basically,
This thing's
on
crazy.
an attack roll, I get to divert the attack.
Oh, yes.
Not necessarily the damage, but the attack to anything else I want. So I'm going to divert it to this lady.
Okay.
So if the 22 would hit her,
Yes, it
it
would,
hits
yeah.
her for all
That's
damage.
broken.
All right, so the damage is...
But I
so
can
it's-
only do
Stupid.
it once.
So it's 8 points of damage. So you see the fangs close around Agatha's shoulder, and then just wounds spring up on this pureblood, who yelps out in surprise, having no idea where that came from.
That's so
However,
cheeky.
she only takes 5 damage, as poison does not affect her. So, all right. And then with his second attack, he's gonna swing out with the scimitar towards you, Solaris.
Hey.
And that is a 20 to hit
That will hit.
for 5 points of slashing damage.
Hey.
And Yeah, why not? Okay, so he's then going to
I don't
look
like that. Yeah.
towards you, Wally,
Mm.
Can't miss
and
him.
you just like feel compelled to stare into his eyes, and he goes, "Throw your weapon in the water." And I would like
Wisdom,
A-
charisma, intelligence.
it's I think it's a which was this? It is a why does it not say which kind of throw this
Wisdom
is?
saving
Wisdom
throw.
saving throw. There you go.
Fuck.
Uh-oh.
Hiya! Yes!
Hey, good job.
Your hand kind of twitches as almost to let go of your blade, and then you just snap back to reality like, what the hell was that? And you see him look slightly frustrated.
Wait, no!
I wanna.
Then Agatha, it's your turn.
All right. I'm a little too close to take a shot at this dude. So I would like to try and shoot. Can I shoot through them to shoot the lady back here?
Yes, although he is in melee range, so you'll have disadvantage.
Oh.
You can step
Right.
back, but you'll take an attack of opportunity.
Okay, I'm gonna step back onto the bridge here.
Okay, so you take an attack of opportunity. He's going to lash out towards you with his fangs. And that is a 9 to hit, so you manage to dodge out of the way.
Miss me. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a shot. Can I move my hunter's mark to this man's, please?
Yep, it's your bonus action to do so.
Yes. So I would like to move hunter's mark to lizard face, and then I'm gonna take a shot with my longbow. Ooh, that's 11 to hit.
That does not hit, I'm afraid. He parries it with his scimitar. Very impressive.
Bounces up his pegs.
I will panickedly get another arrow ready and shoot it again at his face. Oh boy, that's worse. 9.
Ow.
Yeah,
But
that doesn't hit either,
Packs
I'm
of
afraid.
steel.
Shit. Okay, I'm just gonna shout at my bow angrily and pause my turn.
All right. In that case, it's the turn of the Yuanti Purebloods. And this one here is going to, well, just from where she's standing, spray. They're all kind of taken aback at the sudden giant growth of Wally.
Hey, what's
And
up?
They are
Look at the target.
all going to spray their poison at him in an attempt to fend him off. And that is going to be the first one. Well, you're going to have to make 3 DC dexterity saves, basically.
Sure.
So I
Dexterity
need
saves.
3 dex saves from you, please.
14,
14,
10,
10.
17.
Okay, so the second one of these will hit you, so you dodge the 3. And then you... Where's my pure blood gone? There it is. You dodge the 3, then you take 5 poison damage, and you dodge the 10. Nice.
Thanks.
So-
Also, one of the people should make a dex save for the restraints or take 2d6
Oh,
damage.
yes, that's true. She should. So she's going to roll her dexterity save to escape the flaming chains. And that is an 18.
She escapes the
So
flaming
she
chain.
escapes the flaming chains. All right. Now, however, after escaping the flaming chains, she is pretty battered by this bizarre creature that's just grown triple its size in front of her. And she's going to try stumbling back into the building. So, oh no, you use your reaction. You don't have an attack of
did.
opportunity.
Ah.
Yeah. I
So
did.
these two are going to back away from El Wally Grande. And this one is just going to back
good way to
onto
put
this
it.
little dock a little bit. And that's going to be the end of their turn. So Solaris, you're up.
Solaris is going to summon her wonderful spirit, and all you see is, again, that shooting light coming just directly from her chest. Oops. And Flamebird. And the bird's going to come up, and it's going to come right next to this guy, and he has when he makes a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so the Malastone is going to make a dex save. That dex save is an 18.
Passes. Nothing happens.
Okay.
And as a Solaris is gonna call out for the bird. Gonna say fiery teleportation.
What?
That's a catchy name.
Yeah. And as my turn ends as my bonus action, the bird will then go towards me, circle around me, and we will both teleport all the way
Using
over to these
fiery
guys.
Okay.
Nasty fiery
cool.
step.
I do.
Fiery
Is that a do I
No,
take
you
a
don't-
top
no, no,
opportunity?
no, no,
Okay.
It's when you move out of the.
You
So you
poofed.
spend your movement basically.
Yep.
Gotcha. And then those creatures have to make a dexterity saving throw as well.
Okay, so we'll go for the top one first. That is 14.
Double check. That one passes.
Okay, and then the second one is a 12.
That one fails. So
Okay,
they're
so-
going to take 1d6 plus 3 fire damage.
Do you want to roll that for me?
Yes. I'll just roll a d6 and then plus 3, so 9.
Max damage.
9. Wow, max damage. Okay, so yeah,
Yes.
you just appear in a fiery blaze, and part of this one's robe lights up on fire. And you can see her screaming and desperately patting it out.
Where do
Oh,
you
there we
think
go.
you're going?
All right. Anything else?
That's all.
Zamas, you're up.
I shall move to Big Daddy Snake Man. And I shall, as my bonus action, move my curse or
The
hex
boss
onto
of
him,
this
so-
snake gym.
Yes. And then swing at him with my longsword.
Nice.
23.
That certainly hits.
He takes 8 slashing damage and max hex damage. So
Nice.
14 damage altogether.
So you cut a deep cut across his bare, rippling, muscly chest, and he hisses out with
Oh
this
my.
guttural roar.
And then I'll just swing again. That's 26.
What is your rolling? Good lord.
Wow.
Dear God.
That's 10 slashing damage.
He has
I'm
Plus
telling you,
8
he's
to
the
hit.
final boss.
Oh yeah, hexblades
And-
always are. Alright.
3 damage from my hex, so
Okay.
13 damage altogether.
So yeah, you just got 2 deep gashes in his chest, and he is now bleeding heavily with this thick, dark red, sticky blood is just oozing out. Anything else?
Nope, that's me. All done.
Okay, Wally, big boy, it's your turn.
Does he even fit
Uh,
in the house?
I was gonna say,
say.
do you think I would fit in the house?
Not without some difficulty. This is
Yeah.
a house made by people who are about 4 feet tall, and you're 10 feet tall right now.
Figured. So Wally's gonna quickly peruse the size of the opening and go, nah. And I'm
Why
gonna
don't
come
you just
over
huff and
here.
puff and blow it down?
Too, I could do that. And I am
would
also
have
going to
a-
take a big swing at the Big Daddy Snake Man, as Craig likes to call
Oh,
it.
not one escaping.
Nah, it'll be fine. What? 21.
Wow.
That certainly hits.
And it does a d6 extra. 7 plus 6.
Nice.
Hey! 13
Nice.
damage.
So yeah, once again, just like huge rends are being cut through this guy now, and he is beginning to appear like he's on his last legs.
I am swinging again. 14.
Big fan. 14 does hit. He's not wearing any armor.
And 8
What a
damage.
8
And
damage,
that's it.
yep.
That's it for the damage from me. And I'll stand there menacingly. Ah, no, you know what? Screw it. No, I'm gonna save it. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm done.
Can you get even bigger?
That would be wicked.
Chiron is not here. So that looks like a skipped turn to me. Catra, it's your turn.
I'm going to bonus cast Searing Smite on myself. So next time if I hit something within a minute, I'll let you know what happens. But first, I want to try to
Your
hit this
rolls are
guy.
gonna get in the way of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm scared, but I'm going for it. All right, so I'm gonna try to swing at Big Snake Daddy again.
Nice.
That is the name.
Classic.
Big Snake Daddy, yeah.
You do have bardic inspiration. I'll just
Oh,
say it.
I do.
True.
1d8. Thank
Please
you,
roll a
Craig.
1.
1d8. Let's go. 6.
Oh, she did it.
Yes.
So remembering Chiron's inspiring melody to you, you correct your strike mid-swing, and you
Yeah.
do connect.
All right. So while I'm
You're gonna have to turtle roll this spectacularly to not kill him, by the way.
yeah. While I'm going to hit him. By the way, I'm going to be like, "I'll show you, little tiny dwarf," and then because he insulted me earlier for being a useless tiny dwarf, and yeah. So damage for the warhammer is going to be 8 plus. The Searing Smite gives me 1d6 extra fire damage, and it sets him on fire too. So
Well, I'll just say, with your searing blow of 8 damage, you catch him in the side of the knee, and with the explosion of flame, his knee just shears off, and he pitches forward, just dead on the ground immediately. And he is not Big Snake Daddy no more.
yeah, and I look at him and I'm like, "Who's the lesser one now?"
Whoa.
Bitch!
All right.
And that's my turn.
Snake Daddy's dead, so he doesn't get a turn anymore. Agatha, you're up.
All right. I am going to see Solaris having bolted inside and move along to go inside with. And I would like to try and shoot the one ahead of me. It's got Bane, right? What does Bane do
Sorry,
again?
Justin, I didn't see your message until literally just now. I apologize.
It's fine.
You alright?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I'm still getting used to the glasses.
Okay. Well, I
And-
mean, we're gonna end
Oh,
after this
good.
fight anyway, so if you're getting ahead,
Okay.
don't worry. Because
No, yeah, I was. I just got brain warm.
Yeah, no, it's not. Don't worry.
I get
yes,
it.
the brain
I
worm.
totally
I
get
just
it.
got me word good, but it's like
No,
sorry,
I've been
we're
in.
ending after
I've
this
been
fight
in.
anyway, so don't
Okay.
worry.
I've
Go
been
on.
in situations where my brain would like sizzle.
Nice,
Did someone set you on fire
like
too?
an egg on a hot pavement.
I don't know why I hear the sizzle, but whenever it starts to come in, I'm like, I should cool my brain down.
Wow.
Justin, you shouldn't be hearing your brain sizzle.
I know.
Anyway, Agatha, sorry, what were you
Yes.
doing?
What does Bane do again?
It gives them minus a d4 to their attack rolls and saves, I believe.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna knock an arrow and try and shoot this lady over here.
Dookie?
I don't know where my hunter's. Oh, my hunter's mark was on the other guy who's now dead. So I'm gonna shift
You
it
could
to this
bonus
woman.
action shift it, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll shift it to there.
Actually, is it a free
Um,
action? I don't even think it's a bonus action, is it?
It's a bonus action in my spells, at least.
Okay.
I don't know if I get it for free.
It probably is.
13 to hit.
13. Where have you rolled? Like, why can't I see a roll? Oh, there it is.
It's
Sorry,
just
it's
delayed,
just
like-
lagging for me. Yeah. 13 hits. Yes.
Sweet. So they'll take 6 piercing, and then the hunter's mark, another 6, so 12.
Wow. Big hunter's mark damage.
Solid land.
Nice. Ooh, I get to try something that I haven't tried yet. Okay.
Hey!
I'm
once
gonna guess
wait,
you have Hoard Breaker.
I do. Once on each of your turns, when you make a weapon attack, you may make another attack with the same weapon against a different creature that is within 5 feet.
So you can fire a free shot at the one next to Solaris now.
free shot. Woo! Boom! Whoa!
That
25
certainly
to
hits.
hit.
Yeah.
Hell, freaking yeah! 10 piercing to that one,
Nice.
and then I get my second attack.
You
That's
do?
So neat.
So your second attack
Wow.
does not trigger Hoard Breaker.
Yeah, well, that's fine. So second attack will be the first woman with my hunter's mark on. Boop. 18 to hit,
Certainly hits.
and 10 piercing.
Nice. Hunter's Mark damage as well, Elias.
Oh, yeah. And 3 hunter's mark damage.
Okay, yeah, so, I mean, Solaris, to you, it's just like a hail of arrows suddenly erupts down the corridor.
Yeah, I just see
All
it.
of them finding their mark, and these two Yuanti are bleeding out. I mean, they're barely staggering to their feet after the blows.
More like
Speaking of
it.
which, it's their turn. So, this Yuanti... Ooh. You know what? These two inside are going to drop their short bows and seemingly raise their hands in surrender to you, as they are both next to dead at this point.
I was going to ask
Uh,
them to surrender in my turn, so that works.
Yeah, they're just going to clearly have lost the will to fight. They're both bleeding profusely and no longer offer any resistance. This Yuanti outside is going to poison spray big old Wally in the face. Let's go. Actually, no, do you know what? They're gonna swing
alright.
with their scimitar. I said that before I saw you made that save. That
I-
sounds scummy, but
That's all right. I get it.
changed my
It's fine.
mind. Fuck you.
Too
They're
bad.
gonna attack
Alright.
with their scimitar. The first one is a nat 1, and the next one is a 12. So I don't think either
You
of these hit you
miss.
anyway. They're just like clanging off of like the chest plate of giant Wally. Like, why won't anything work? And they're gonna
God.
end their turn there. So Solaris, it is your turn.
Are they like, are the people in front of me like profusely like bleeding out? Are they like in danger of their
I mean,
life?
they're not dying, but they are. You know, they look like they've been through a few rounds. Like they're not looking good, but they're not in immediate danger of dying.
Okay,
from
but
your-
they've
from
surrendered.
your
so-
surface assessment. Yeah, they've
Okay.
surrendered. They've dropped their short bows to the floor.
All right,
Currently.
I'm gonna turn back and say, Agatha, watch after these two, and I am going to walk back out with my lovely burb coming with me, And seeing Wally, thank you. Seeing Wally get hit, I'm going to. Sorry, 1 second, so that you guys can see. Aha. I am going to kind of get down closer to them. I think I have enough. So yeah, I have enough speed. And I'm just going to yell out to this Yuanti. Everyone else is dead. Lay down your weapon, or face death yourself.
Make me an intimidation check.
All right,
Get away with words.
Ryan.
What was the
Gotta be
giant
blunt
no not
sometimes.
intimidating?
Well, yeah, I mean, realistically, with her current experience of combat, she reluctantly lowers her scimitar to the floor and stares up at you with eyes burning with hatred. But for now, it appears as though the Yuanti have lost the will to fight.
Aha.
And this one looks up at you, Solaris, and says, "So what will you do with me? Just kill me now."
I came here for peace. Your people did not want that. There has been too much death today as it is. You will face none with my hand.
She mostly just looks kind of angrily perplexed at this point and doesn't offer a response, just glancing around the rest of you, and still up at Wally, the 10-foot gnome, who she was trying to break through the armor of.
Well, I say we should properly subdue them. As much as it may seem barbaric, they do seem that it seems that they can spray literal acid out of their face, so should probably gag them as well. I know it's not exactly the nicest thing to do, but frankly, we fought them, so, you know, sparing them is enough in my eyes.
I would like to come out of the building, whatever this is, with the other two, just like at the point of my short sword, like
Sure,
poking
yeah,
them in
you
the
just
back.
kind of like escort them out. And
Yeah.
as you're poking them out, one of them turns around to you, Agatha, and just hisses in your direction, just goes, "You're as bad as those upstairs."
Thank you for that nugget of information, my dear.
I being just the worst person in this party again.
Clearly the bad guy.
I'm gonna go up to the Malison and see if he has anything cool on him.
Oh,
And I'm gonna essentially whisper to the corpse. Not all high and mighty now.
you're going to loot and shit talk the person with the other two right there.
Yes.
I said I'm
I
gonna
mean,
whisper.
this dude, the Malison, the snake-headed warrior, had a fairly ordinary, if not, I mean, pretty well-made and sort of unusual-looking scimitar, but you don't see anything particularly special about it. And other than that, he was basically a shirtless warrior in some cloth trousers, one leg of which has been blasted off by Katra's hammer. So, I mean, he's like a 2/3 naked dude with one leg. You can loot him if you want.
Does the scimitar it's not a design I've seen. I'm essentially asking, like,
No,
is
it's
this
quite
a
unusual.
1T?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is you would assume this to be a 1T weapon. It's quite unusual even compared to a typical scimitar. It's more angular in its curve. The blade kind of protrudes out and then off at an angle rather than like the sweep of a traditional scimitar. So it is certainly a somewhat unusual looking weapon. And I mean, if you were so minded, it would essentially, while not serving any special purpose, it would make a pretty neat trophy to someone. Essentially,
I'd be taking it essentially just to give it to the Brotherhood.
Yeah, if you just wanted it as a trophy, it would be a neat trophy, I guess. The other Purebloods, the one that Wally has sort of at sword point on the dock, is also wielding a similar, albeit slightly smaller version of this weapon. But the other two had short bows of nondescript design, really.
That did not go the way that I would have hoped that it would.
It
I don't
didn't
feel
go the
too
way we
bad
had
about
hoped,
it.
but it went the way I expected.
Frankly, it went better than I expected. I was expecting it to potentially be a bloodbath, but we were able to spare some. Although seems that they're not exactly happy about being spared.
I don't really care what they want or like or any of that, but this one over here, I jab him with my sword. Mentioned someone upstairs, so these aren't the last of them in this area.
Who's upstairs? I boom down to them.
You can see, you're a million feet tall.
The mixture of that
See in the
voice and
windows.
booming. Who's upstairs?
Yo, Ruby there.
This is the John voice.
Yeah.
The Yuanti, who you forced to surrender without even landing a blow on, looks up towards you, Wally and Solaris, and she just goes, "Those who came before us, traitors to our way, barely Yuanti at all. We captured those we didn't kill. We thought they'd be useful." And she fixes you with a grin of fang-like teeth. "You'll find them upstairs. Not that they'll be of much use to you."
I think they'll be quite a bit of use to us, since they seem to be, according to you, more sensible to
And
our goals.
with this, she glanced over towards you, Karen, and goes, "Oh, I'll tell you what you want to know. But you already are aware, aren't you? Go to the temple if you want to see why we're really here. I'm sure they'd be pleasured to have you there."
I think we can have the gags ready about now.
Yeah, I'm gonna gag him.
You're gonna gag them all?
Yeah,
They can. Oh wait,
With what? What do you-
rope or
I
cloth.
just
or
no. The
something.
thing is, I just realized they
They
spit.
spew
Or
acid.
at least the malice and spit acid that dissolved part of the ground. So
I'm guessing
not
it doesn't dissolve their faces off, right?
I would assume not. That'd be a very.
assume not.
That'd be,
That would be
very,
poor
They
design.
probably
but-
resist
Yeah.
poison.
Mm.
They're gonna dissolve your gags.
I know. Let's put them in the boat and shove it down the river
Why don't
or wherever.
Perhaps the Yuanti upstairs can look after them whilst we press on if they are going to be our allies.
Yeah,
As-
possibly. I suppose we could check with them, see if they have any good ideas.
Convinced they. I would be very cautious to believe anything these guys say right now.
I'm fine with leaving them in the house, as long as they can't hurt anyone else.
Well, do you have acid-resistant chains? Because I assume that they will work together to free themselves and do some nefarious nonsense.
If you tie their hands behind their backs and tie them to each other back to back, they can't spray it.
Good point.
I mean, I don't know how I know this.
Or let's go and see how they've got the others captive, and just switch them out.
Yeah.
That
I
that
mean,
would
if-
that
if
would make a
they
lot of sense.
are-
That is wise.
If Yuanti are upstairs or in chains, gotta be a way that they're up there. It's a great idea.
I'll go look. I'm gonna.
Okay. So as you're heading up the stairs to investigate the captive Yuanti, we'll end things there before you
I don't know.
go up
She
and
can go
meet
by
them.
herself.
Yeah. Oh,
We go
should
to a
be by
room of
herself.
25 Yuanti. We'll leave it
I'm
there.
gonna drop them.
And we'll meet the perhaps friendly Yuanti next time.
Mm.
Can
All
we
right.
call
Friendlier.
Giant Wally? Can that be Big Wally Whopper?
Yeah.
Or just Whoppy.
Whoppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that, but we've been in caves the entire time we've been playing. So.
Yeah, like the party was
Nice.
like, "Hey, look, I can fly. Hey, look, I
Yeah.
can turn giant. In the cave you go."
Nice.
And I can do that 3 times a day, which is
Whoa.
nuts.
Nice.
Oh, blimey!
Why
You
didn't you
just
ever
live
just
as
do
a
it for
whopper.
fun then?
I do. And my
Okay.
Do your
Anyway,
do your clothes rip off like when you grow
No,
big?
everything-
anything he's
everything
wearing
grows with me.
him.
Okay.
Said,
He's not the Hulk. He doesn't have one pair of
Mega
stretchy
denim
pants.
shorts. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for
Thanks.
watching at home. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time when we will continue our adventures in solving what the Yuanti are here looking for. So thank you all for watching, and I think it's bye from us. And as always,
Bye, bye.
Bye.
There you
unprompted,
go.
good.
Yeah,
All right.